Hey, what's going on, guys? How's everyone doing? So, today I want to make it very clear to everyone this conversation is not primarily about Clive. I've been reading some of the comments as the live stream has been starting. It is not primarily about Clive. This is about, yes, I am the hater supreme, according to Twitter. This is about if Tekken was ever really primarily a game around martial arts. That's what's been going on Twitter today. So that's what am I echoing? Am I echoing, guys? Hold on. It doesn't say that I'm echoing. Hey, you trying to throw me off? I see. Nice troll. Yeah, so there's been an argument going on Twitter today, and it's been around if Tekken was ever primarily a martial arts game. And a lot of people have a lot of different opinions. I have my opinion on the discussion. Now, what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and construct it in a way where we actually have members of the community coming in to say their piece. Now, what I do want to say is that there are a lot of people on Twitter right now talking. People love talking on Twitter. I'm going to open this space up to anybody that has any disagreements with anything that I'm about to say. Maybe Blackheart. We've got Planted Medusa in here as well. I know Cobra Commander is going to come by. King Jay's going to come by. Perfect Legend might come by. So there's going to be a lot of different people in here. But I'm going to open it up to the community. So if anybody has anything they want to say, now is the chance, okay? And again, this is not primarily about Clive, okay? I want to reiterate that to everybody listening. This is not primarily about Clive. This is about the history of Tekken and if it was primarily rooted in martial arts first, because a lot of people are saying that's not the case, okay? Now, I've pulled up all of the character select screens. I've got some articles that were written by people when Tekken was first coming out. And I've obviously got people like that I'm going to bring in. We're going to have an open discussion, and then I'm going to go through the character select screens with everybody. I'm going to go through these articles of people that are saying that Tekken was never primarily a martial arts game. And we're going to get to the bottom of this, okay? So last time, this is not just about Clive, okay? It's not just about Clive, okay? I'm going to bring Planted Medusa in first, and then I'm going to bring in Blackheart.
Hey, bro, how are you, man?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, bro. How you doing?
I'm doing good, bro. Excited for the conversation. I've seen mad stuff on Twitter, and especially when you say like anything against like this situation, you will get immediately attacked cope harder and shit like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's been a bit mad. I mean, I've had a couple of good conversations, but it's becoming more and more obvious to me that there are a lot of people that started with Tekken 7. And when I was talking to people, they were making a lot of baseline arguments. And I said, I've invited pretty much everyone that I can that disagree with me to come on here on the live stream. We can have the discussion. I don't know how many people are going to show up, but when we open up to the community, then obviously I'll let you guys know. We'll let them have their say. We'll give everyone a couple of minutes to say what they want to say. We've also got Blackheart here. Blackheart, how you doing? You at the beach?
Bro, Blackheart, where are you, man?
You at the beach or something?
In Italy, bro, at the beach, bro. Mamma mia.
All right, Blackheart, you sort yourself out. We'll bring you back in later on. Yeah, so there's going to be a couple people that come in here to like push back on discussion. But what do you think, Medusa? Do you think Tekken was primarily a martial arts game?
I think it was primarily a martial arts game. Obviously, you had like the crazy stuff and Roger Jr., etc., but also the kangaroos. But when you break it down to the gameplay, they were punching and kicking at the end of the day, right? And the goofy stuff that was always in the intros and outros, now they brought the goofy stuff into the gameplay, which is a bit annoying. And then it's also weird because people conflate like the argument and say, yeah, but Yoshi also has a weapon or Victor has also a weapon. Well, these characters were one of the characters that the people complained about the most. And now we get more of this times two.
Yeah.
So.
Let me Black Horse. I don't know what he's doing. All right, what I'm going to do, right, is I want to share my screen with you so that we can go through this one at a time because it's becoming more and more apparent to me that a lot of people did not play the older Tekken games and they're just looking at what the characters look like and
Mm,
saying random things that we both know didn't exist. So
yeah.
this is the Tekken 1 roster. What would you say the ratio of wacky to grounded is there?
I would say 70% is like nah, even 80%. Like what is here wacky, honestly?
Yeah, so like Yoshimitsu, I guess, would be the outlier here.
Yeah.
And I'll read super chats just afterwards, guys. Thank you. Yoshimitsu would be like the most wacky one here, but we remember Yoshimitsu's gameplay in Tekken 1, right? And
Mm,
relative to the time, it wasn't anything crazy. He was mostly punching and kicking, and he had a couple of special moves with his sword, right?
yeah.
And then you've got Nina, Law, Kazuya, Paul, Jack, King, Michelle. None
Mm,
of those characters were doing anything crazy. Can we all agree on that?
I agree.
Don't know if Blackheart is. Yeah, Blackheart's back in. Blackheart,
Mike, can you hear me?
I can hear you now, bro.
What is that beach thing? What I didn't even know.
It
What
sounded
are you
like you.
referring
It
to?
sounded like you were at the beach.
Yeah.
What? Maybe it was my capture. I was playing Tekken. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it was taken that one stage, the June one, the big one.
Oh, okay.
Okay. By the way, hello everyone. Hello. What's up? Nice to
So
be here.
when we're looking at this character select screen, yeah, what a lot of people are doing is they're looking at like Jack's character design, and they're seeing a big robot, and they're making out like the gameplay is wacky because of that, which is obviously not the case for most characters. Like again, Yoshimitsu, in my opinion, in Tekken 1 will probably be the biggest outlier. Jack really wasn't doing anything crazy in this game as far as I can remember, unless I'm forgetting something.
I mean, I don't know. I never played Tekken 1, so I have very, no, I don't know. I don't have memories of that. But yeah, I was playing very basic. Tekken 1 characters are were played very basic. I guess they had like what 3 moves each one of them or something like
They are the
this.
deep moves. I'm gonna go through each of them because people were saying that this has always been a thing in Tekken. This has always been a thing. Tekken's always been
I mean,
crazy anime.
probably Tekken 1 is not a good example because it was the first chapter of the series, maybe, and it was more linked to other fighting games of that era. So maybe it was
Yeah.
much more based around fighting only, basically, only with punches and kicks, maybe. But I don't know.
So we got Tekken 2 here. Okay, we're gonna
Okay.
go through them one by one to dispel this notion before we move on to the next topic. Is there anything there you want to point out to me that is over the top anime wacky?
Bah, not particularly. Only Yoshimitsu, probably.
And what was Yoshimitsu doing in this game that was wacky?
No, wacky, no, but maybe we can watch some Yoshimitsu Tekken 2 gameplay, maybe. I cannot tell for sure because I don't remember precisely what he did in Tekken 2. But Yoshimitsu has always been a little bit wacky as a
So
character.
let me just get this straight, yeah. I want to get Medusa's input on this as well. When we're talking about the history of Tekken, are you starting with Tekken 7 Blackheart? Are you talking
No,
about Tekken in general?
no. Tekken in general.
Okay,
Let's say with like the most fun examples I had yesterday in yesterday's talk were about Tekken 3, Tekken Tag series, or I don't know, Tekken 5 TR, or especially Tekken Tag 2, Tekken 7. You know, these ones. The first two are more. I don't know. Are more realistic. Let's say are more martial arts based. Definitely.
okay, so we agree these ones are more martial arts based, yeah?
Yeah, definitely, of course. It
Okay.
would be stupid to not say that.
Okay, we're gonna work our way through it just to dispel this notion because before we move on talk about other stuff. Then we got Tekken 3, right?
Ah.
Now, obviously here the obvious outlier here is gone. Yeah, this is the one that people
No, not all.
use.
Dr. Boskonovich also.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Dr. Boskonovich as well. So there's some stupid shit in this game, right? But we can all agree that this is stupid shit. This should I never want to see gone again.
Why?
This is-
Why?
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 How do you fight against Gon on the ground, bro?
Nobody like he was a meme character, and yeah, this
why
is
would
the
you
first
want a
example
meme?
of Tekken not taking itself seriously. Maybe this is the first.
Yeah,
but
but
also
then we
Dr.
need to like
Boskonovich,
make a rule. Yeah, you can't pick Gon at the tournament or something like that. It's just
yeah,
like,
he was basically unplayable to play against. No.
Now I want to ask you guys, yeah, about True Ogre, because True Ogre is one that I think a lot of people bring up but didn't play Tekken 3. I played Tekken 3. Apart from True Ogre's ridiculous design and the fact that he could fly and shoot fire, correct me if I'm wrong, but True Ogre was just using the moves of other martial artists, right?
Not only.
Not
Again, you
only,
said it. He
yeah.
also had some bullshit moves.
Like
So it's
what?
not like, not, yeah. Huh?
But True Ogre is understandable. He was supposed to be the boss fight
Yeah,
of
but
the
he was
game.
playable. Yeah, but he was playable though.
Yeah,
But out of his moves, he had forward 2, right? The snake grab.
yeah,
He had the flying and he had the fire.
yeah.
And he
Yeah.
had the when he could.
That's
he'd
already
get, I think-
something. That's already something.
yeah, that's already something. But Kazuya had lasers in Tekken 2, right?
Because you always had I think even in the first iterations of the game, he had laser. He had always a laser, just in devil form.
Yeah, but how prevalent was the laser in the gameplay?
Not because it's a gimmick. It was so exploitable that it didn't matter.
Yeah, so it was basically useless when you were fighting against somebody, unless you were playing like your sister or something that didn't know what she was doing. You
Yeah.
weren't ever going to hit that move, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, true. That is true, of course. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I saw someone saying here, Mike is so disingenuous, he can't even make a coherent argument. Do you want to jump in the live stream? I'm going to
Let's
open the
go.
floor to
Let's
everybody.
go.
Can jump in.
Pro fight.
You want to jump in the live stream? We can all have this conversation together.
By the way, Mike, if I can add something, in Tekken 3, we didn't mention it, but technically, even Yoshimitsu is not like a serious character. It's always been a little bit of a mascot of the game, but it's also, technically a magic wood, fighter. Technical, so even he's not serious. He didn't have any gameplay.
I'm not talking about the character design itself. I'm talking about what they're actually doing in the match and how much of the gimmick.
Design is also important. I think to judge some game saga.
No, because then it would be pointless. Because Tekken's always had stupid designs. So I'm talking about the gameplay and how the characters interact with the systems.
Okay, but
I want to add something
that
here.
I need. It's still something that we need to underline because. Again, we'll get it later. Maybe we'll get that today. Maybe.
What about the fact that, like, for example, Tekken 3 and especially Tekken 4, people love Tekken 4 only for the vibe, not because the game was too playable. It was very broken, but the vibe was the best. That was the grounded, serious vibe, fighting martial art vibe. And now we are going away from this. And I'm just saying, when we say that vibe is better, the reason for that is because everyone says the best vibe had Tekken 4. Everyone says that.
Yeah, and I can and I agree, Medus. But you know that Tekken 4 was one of the worst chapters in terms of selling, if I'm not correct, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but the gameplay was not there. It was just horse shit to play. But the design, imagine this like vibe in Tekken 8. Holy moly!
I don't know. Maybe some people wouldn't like it. I don't know. But maybe. I'm just saying maybe. I don't know for sure, of course.
The thing is, nowadays. Yeah.
Sorry, Medusa, go on.
Nowadays, I feel like since like the games become like more like I don't know which word to use. I just call it woke. This notion of making everything like so quirky. Now the people yearn for this serious vibe. I noticed. That's why I'm saying just future proof it would have been, because the consensus is changing around the people around and like a lot of games.
Maybe you're right.
Right, so we can agree Tekken 4, it was pretty much like just a grounded martial arts fighting game, right?
Yeah. This is probably the most serious Tekken game ever, probably.
Okay, cool. So now we get over to I believe Tekken 5.
Best OSTs of the franchise.
So in this roster, right? Who would you say are the wacky characters? So the ones that are like they step out the bounds of martial arts.
Bears a bit. Yoshimitsu, Roger. Even though I know what you're about to say, but there's fighting styles. Okay, but there's still
fighting styles. I'm not talking about character designs. I'm talking about the way they fight.
But again, I think it's something that you need to discuss about because.
No, we're going to be here for some time.
Okay,
right now, we're just talking
terms
about
of fighting styles. In terms of fighting styles only, I don't know. Yoshimitsu only probably.
Minimum 80% of this roster is sick.
Yeah, it's a good roster, but in terms of how they're doing stuff, really the most gimmicky character here is Yoshimitsu, right? The one that steps outside the lines of like conventional martial arts. Can we agree on that?
Yeah.
Obviously, you got Mokujin. He's a.
Thank you for the prime, bro.
Mokujin and Kuma, let's say. Yeah? No, sorry, Mokujin and Yoshimitsu.
Kuma, I disagree. He's just a bear fighting.
Yeah.
It's the bear
That's already
part is the
ridiculous as a
stupid part.
concept, yeah.
Yeah, the bear part is the dumb part, but the actual fighting, there's nothing there that I would point to that's going too far.
It's not like Tekken 8 bears. We just have
Okay,
PTSD.
Yeah. Okay, and next
There's
one.
also Tekken 5 DR. Don't forget Tekken 5 DR. Don't
that
forget
is DR.
No, that is Tekken.
No, that's Tekken 5 DR. That's with all the characters.
There's also Jinpachi playable in Tekken 5 DR.
Yeah, like Jinpachi's a boss character. And
No,
he's
it's playable.
intentionally
It's
designed.
playable. No,
Yeah,
it's playable.
but all boss characters in all fighting games are stupid. We're not gonna.
Yeah, but it was playable. But it was playable though.
Okay.
It was part of the gameplay.
Okay, no, that's fine. We'll add Jinpachi. He's one character.
okay,
Him and
okay,
Yoshimitsu.
Okay.
Okay.
I just to make things a little bit clearer.
Okay. Then we got Tekken 6 right now. This, in my opinion, this is where it went sideways.
Really?
Yeah, because of this character here. This is
Alita,
where I really started to feel like they was Alyssa and Lars is what made me feel like,
Lars also.
yeah, they were dipping into anime a little bit. And
Zafina also borderline. Zafina borderline also.
But the
Yeah.
overall vibe was good. It was just a moment where they introduced the weird characters.
It's
that
also
would
where they
dominate them.
introduced Rage as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, yeah.
So far,
Also, let's say all the new characters, even Bob, but it's possible. But a character that's so fast, that fights so fast, all the gimmicky things he has, the funny, quirky things he has, he's a little bit quirky. Also, Bob, yeah, I think.
I need to stress this, yeah, like because Medi is one of my mods. We're not talking about character designs right now and how they look. We're talking about how they fight in the game, right? So there's a difference. Kumo, I would say Kumo was playing more normal Tekken back then than Lars was. Lars was doing some weird anime shit. This guy came over from Ninja Storm.
Even Roger.
Yeah, Roger was just boxing people. It's a stupid design, but he was just boxing people. He wasn't doing anything crazy, was he?
No,
I mean, he had some tail attacks. Some tail attacks with his tail.
And then we got Tekken Tag 2. Okay, so Tekken Tag 2 was a pretty crazy game. I don't think so much because of the fighting styles in it, but more just because of how much damage characters were doing, and you could wall carry people to death and whatnot. But people are talking about Jinpachi in here, but this version of Jinpachi is nothing. He's similar to Tekken 5's version, but it's severely toned down. Can we all agree on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he had a lot of bullshit.
That one thing that I don't like here, they claim, okay, Tekken Tag Tournament 2 selling point, you gotta play 2 characters, but then end up giving every character twice just with a different skin. You have like 2 free capos, 2 fucking laws, 2 this, 2 that, like, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah. It was a lot of just reskins and whatever.
May I interject?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, hi, Mike. What I would say is because I've played Tekken since Tekken 3, I just can't remember 1 and 2 because I was so young then. I probably did play that too as well. I'm around the same age as you. I'm like 33. So what I will say is what I've noticed with Tekken. I don't know if this is intentional, but after each Tekken, it felt like it was progressively getting a little bit more wackier and more straying away from martial arts. But I will always say that Tekken, from the core, from the beginning until now, was always based off martial arts, right? If you look at the value proposition of pretty much any Mishima when they talk about Tekken, they literally say the next Iron Fist tournament, right, is so-and-so, right? Mm-hmm. So really, when you think of a fist, you think of a martial art, right? It could be multiple martial arts. It's not really a Mishima saying, the Iron Fist. No, what was it? The tournament of the Iron Wand. It's not happening. You dig? So really, when I see Tekken, and I played it for a long time, it really is just a fight. It is to do with fighting. It's to do with hand-to-hand combat. It's to do with basically martial arts. And people will say, "Oh, but there's swords and so on and so forth." Yeah, but swords is also part of martial arts. But anyway, that's my little thing to say. Anyway, peace.
No worries, bro. Cheers for that. All right, let's we're almost through all of the games, then we can kind of open the discussion.
You forgot Tag 1, by the way. I don't know.
I was gonna put Tag 1 up there, but it felt kind of pointless.
mean,
I've got it here, but
okay.
again, it's basically working off like what the Tekken 3 framework. It's just more characters. It's the same sort of shit. Like you've got Devil there, you got True Ogre. But again,
Unknown.
outside of that, yeah, Unknown. But even Unknown in this game, she wasn't doing the maddest stuff. The real
No,
gimmicks.
she was basically a Mokujin copycat, basically, but she had a wolf going around controlling her, basically. That's all.
Yeah.
Kunimitsu. I mean, there are, a little bit of wackiness. We can see that in Tekken Tag, though, in my opinion. But
yeah, okay. Now we get to Tekken 7, right? I feel like this is where they really start to dip into anime. You got Eliza, Noctis. Noctis, I feel like Noctis is. I feel like when I look at Clive, I can see Noctis. I saw someone do a side-by-side comparison of a lot of the reused animations, which I don't have a problem with. I don't mind them reusing animations. But would you guys agree they really started to like push it here a little bit?
Yeah, here it was.
Whoa, what was that?
Yo.
I think someone's mic was going funny. Sorry, Medusa, what are you saying?
I said here it was getting insane a little bit. Like Noctis, like people say, yeah, but we had Noctis, and then say, yeah, so therefore Clive, no problem. People complained about Noctis. Like that was one of the characters that the majority, I don't say everyone, but the majority of people did hate Noctis. They did get annoyed by Geese. They did hate Akuma because that wasn't even Tekken anymore at that point. That was just Tekken 8 already and Tekken 7 with Heat Dash and shit. Boy, you have so many Kunimitsu, Zafina, like what they did, Eliza, it's crazy. This game really, some characters you wanted to jump out of the window in Unreal Engine 5.
I would agree. I think that I liked Tekken 7 overall because it didn't have too many systems in it that made me angry. Like I didn't like Rage and all that, but I'd say the characters in this game were really starting to like dive into the anime section. It wasn't just the guest characters either. It was some of the actual Tekken characters and what they were doing to their movesets. But I think that when we get to Tekken 8 is where it really like everything sort of changed, in my opinion. I think this is such a leap.
Can I say something on Tekken 7?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, so we said about Noctis, and I agree, of course. A lot of people didn't like it, but I'm gonna ask something. Okay,
go on.
Did you dislike, or we more, less, or the same level, Noctis or Katarina, Lucky Chloe, so on? Just a question.
Am I the same level? What do you mean? What do you mean?
I mean that maybe that wasn't the only issue with those characters. Maybe not. That's not because only they represented Tekken, but it's because how they played. Maybe Katarina was in gameplay wise a disaster, maybe for a lot of people. Same applies for Lucky Chloe, even though technically she was a martial artist. And my point is that it's not because only of what they represent in terms of a character and how distant they are from the game, but it's how because of they played.
The thing is with
you hated Katarina and Noctis at the same level, but Katarina was playing a martial art.
I tell you why they hated the characters, and that's also the argument of VDX and Speed Kicks. They didn't like Tekken 7 because with Noctis they could just backdash simulator into one knockdown or up forward one counter hit, and the red zone was just unapproachable. Therefore, the character was obviously S tier. Then you had Lucky Chloe being annoying because she had properties where she could crush your moves unreasonably, and people just don't like that. Makes sense because it enforces a specific game plan onto the opponent. And same was for Katarina's Magic 4 strings. They were just OP. The character was just OP. So OP-ness, just people don't like it. Especially if their character doesn't function in that way. It's just annoying,
Yeah, that's my point. The point is that maybe a character can be liked because he plays martial, but he can still be disliked because of how he plays, of how broken he is in the gameplay. So I mean,
yeah, but that's a different argument entirely.
Yeah, I know it's a different argument, but the point is that it's not because only of how a character is distant from Tekken that he gets hated. Because if we can say again, that Noctis was less hated than Tekken characters, I think in a lot of times. Like personally, again, it's personal. I don't know about general things, general point of view. I hated Katarina much more than Noctis to fight. But it's my view. Of course, I don't know about the others.
The
But
thing
again,
is,
it's not about
what
only.
about this guy, Clive? What about if they would have brought him into the game, but instead of having hyper beam from Relaxo and next fucking shit in the neutral, they would have made him in a sense of like using his arms and legs more and the weapon for combo extension. But the way they made him, he can fly in the neutral and shoot projectiles, and he has like. Bro, like the moves themselves, you just look at this and you be like, bro, I can't be asked to fight against it. That's the issue.
Some people were trying to use. So I was talking to somebody online today, and he was trying to use the fact that you can juggle people, and that he was using that as a talking point to say Tekken was never realistic. And I was trying to explain to him that all games take liberty so people can have fun, but the fact that like you're using juggling as a talking point really just sort of like proves where the argument has gone. We've just gone through all the rosters, and we've got into Tekken 8, and this character, in my opinion, Clive, does not play anything. We've never seen anything like this in Tekken before. We've seen glimpses of it here and there, but some people were telling me we've seen Clive before. This is nothing new, which I don't understand. So the other day, I was talking to Blackheart, and I was talking to other people, and they kept on saying, "Oh, this game's full of devils and angels." But I feel like people are conflating the story with the gameplay, and they're getting the two things mixed up. I don't feel like the wackiness in the story really bled into the gameplay too much. I don't know if you guys disagree with that or not.
Yeah, I agree. For example, Kazuya, he uses like he flies as a combo ender and knocks you on the ground, but he just doesn't fly like in the open. You know, that's the very different. You can have like flashiness in a reasonable fashion, and you can also have a crazy character identity, but on the footing of Tekken. This guy, I don't know, he plays really Final Fantasy 16 and Tekken 8.
Yeah.
My opinion instead is that the point is about the fact that people say that this character doesn't suit Tekken, in particular Tekken 8. So the talking point they are trying to tell you maybe is that Tekken has never, either if it is story, design, or gameplay wise, which is fair. You're saying that gameplay wise, we never seen something like this, and I agree. Of course, it's undeniable that we never seen this much flashiness going on. I can agree on that. The point is that Tekken never took itself so seriously that Clive feels so out of place. Because Tekken never pretended to be a photorealistic
The gameplay though.
fighting game because it always had the anime elements. Now, of course, with Clive, it's an over exaggeration of that thing. I agree, of course. But in Tekken 8 specifically, I don't think it's that much of a deal since every character basically is an anime fighter at this point. So at this point, the point is not about Clive again, but the point is about the general direction of Tekken 8 at this point, in which we can agree or disagree that it sucks. Maybe some people can agree that it sucks, but it's not about Clive specifically. It's more about the issue with the entire game at this point, because every character plays like anime.
You
Every
know
card
why
is an
people are
anime.
so pissed as well? Let me give you a very easy example. You think about like, oh yeah, what could have the devs put into the game which would make us all hype? Okay, then you come to the conclusion, yeah, they are Bandai Namco. They have some IPs. They have maybe Ichigo. They have maybe Ryan Kure or Oma Tokita from Kengan Ashura. He can use his advance when he is in heat, for example. These characters automatically fit the game.
Yeah.
You have everything in mind but this character. And even from Final Fantasy, the entire franchise, this is the worst character of them all for this game specifically. Even if Tifa was in the game, it would have been better.
Yeah, but why? I don't understand the point of who say why.
Because
Why?
the anime comes the craziness and I don't take myself so serious in Tekken is there, but it is in the art direction. It's not in the gameplay per se. But this character disregards everything. We already are a little bit like on the fence with the heat system. Now this guy is just heat. Like I don't know what this is even.
It does look, I don't know, I'm very confused at the people that keep on saying that this is normal for Tekken. But what I want to do is, a lot of people have been talking on Twitter. I can see people talking in the chat. There's people talking in the chat. If you want to jump into the live stream, please, we'll put you on call. Let's have a conversation. I don't understand this. Like, this is supposed to be a debate. I'm opening it up to anyone and everyone. I don't want to just get people in here that agree with me. Jump in the call, and you can say what you want to say.
Yeah, what's going on, guys? Hey, yo, Blackheart, Medusa,
Yo.
Mike, what's going on, guys? So I've been listening to everything you've been saying, and obviously we're not going to go back through everything we've just talked about, but Tekken 1 to Tekken 8, at which point do you guys believe, and open up to the chat as well, which point do you believe that Tekken stopped being martial arts? At which Tekken was you like, this is over, that it literally is over? It's like, what was your favorite Tekken essentially, and then when did it end? When did it become fighting and magic, or swords, magic, and fighting? When did it start there?
It is,
I-
it is a
I think
gradual.
Tekken Tag 2. Tekken Tag 2, in my opinion.
No, the way I look at it is I look at it like on a pie chart. And when it was back in the day, like Tekken 1, 2, and 3, I always viewed it more as martial arts sprinkled with anime and gimmicky stuff. And then in the story, it had its silly things. And as time went on, that pie chart share where it was mostly martial arts started to decrease. And it decreased over time. It decreased in Tekken 6.
Yeah.
It heavily decreased when this game came out, to the point where I feel like it's almost gone 50-50 now. I feel like there's obviously the martial art element there. They're all fighting each other, but the applications and the systems, they all lean towards anime. So I feel like Tekken 8 is the one that really jumped off the deep end. They all some of them flirted with it before. I feel like Tekken Tag 2 did, Tekken 6 did. Tekken 5 I didn't really think so. Like, it had a very few things here and there, maybe balancing issues, but I didn't think like anime when I looked at it. This is the first Tekken where I'm like, I feel like they jumped off the deep end. Like some of it feels unrecognizable to me.
Yeah. So for me, Tekken 5 was always hands down my favorite Tekken. I thought it was perfect. I thought Tekken 5 was absolutely perfect. Yeah, like I say, it had a few things here and there, but it had a nice balance of martial arts versus the mythical. Like you had your you had your Jinpachi, yeah, sure, and you had your your Devil Jin. But that was kind of it. Yeah, you had your Mokujin, but you could believe that a tree came to life with a bit of magic and could do all these fighting styles. You believed it. You let your imagination take hold. But after Tekken 5, when Tekken 6 hit, the bounce system came in and combos became silly. Lars, you could move like he was so fast, he was incredible. And then you got Elisa comes out of her chainsaws, and you're just like, wow, this is something I've never seen before. I've never seen. And then you had like the was it her name Nancy, the robot, the boss. Like that boss fight was crazy. Then you had Azazel was crazy. This was like crazy. And then you jump to Tekken 7, and they're like, yo, forget it. Forget all the the only boss we've got in here is Kazumi. Like a god Kazumi, but no one can ever play it. No. But you can play this instead. You can play this Alyssa. You can play Negan. You can play Noctis. You can play crazy characters, but you just can't play this uber boss character. We're going to ditch that. But then now we're coming to Tekken 8. It's like, hold on, you can't play Angel Jin. You can't play Supreme Devil Kazuya, whatever you want to call him. But you can play something close to that now, and it's not martial arts. It's not like it says on the screen here. It's not Mishima style fighting karate. It's called dominant. This is where it's gone, and I'm telling you now, and I think it's going to be the case for it. It's going to be more anime crossovers, more game crossovers. We've had Nike, we've had all the food crossovers of the shoes, and it's making the money. Like I think you said the other day, Mike, it's a business. And money talks, and I think with this Final Fantasy crossover, it's done really well for them. People are playing Final Fantasy 16 again just to discover who Clive is. People are picking up Tekken 8 to see how he plays in the game.
But how does that help us if we play Final Fantasy 16 to find out about Clive? I didn't even know about this guy. Like this character's community is just not big enough to be worth for a crossover. If you say money talks, there have been so many more characters where they could have attracted a way broader audience if it is about to get new players. Like I really seriously doubt that Clive, the character that hardly anyone knows at this point, obviously, yeah.
I think that this was probably set in motion when Final Fantasy 16 was probably either coming out or in the works. Because I don't imagine they'd look at where the game is now. Even though I like Final Fantasy 16 personally, I don't think it was the most well-received one. But I think that this was in the works a long, long time ago. And they've clearly got a relationship with Square Enix because they did Noctis before. Is Nier from Square? The character Nier 2B or whatever it's called.
I'm not sure.
No.
I thought it was from her because she's in Soul Calibur as well, isn't she?
By the way, I don't know if you saw the screen, the charts and all and everything. of sales of Noctis, but in the end, he was one of the most sold ones in Tekken 7. If I'm
Was he
like, he was
more
one of the
sold
most
than
popular
Geese?
ones from the DLCs.
Was
Not
he
the
more
most
sold than
popular
Geese?
one, but it definitely was not Gario levels.
Oh,
So
yeah.
in the end, sales are not telling you that you're right. In the end,
So who
on this
was
thing.
so who in Tekken 7? Because you've got the numbers. Who was the most bought DLC in Tekken 7 then?
So I'm
It was
I
Armaking.
don't know for sure. I
No,
don't
it was
know for
Armaking.
sure, but the
Yeah.
Noctis was definitely not on the weaker side. Definitely.
Yeah,
Right,
but
so it's
Noctis is
Armaking
Final
then.
Fantasy, but Clive also from the Final Fantasy community. If you ask them, they don't give a shit about Clive the least.
Yeah, but in the end they'll buy him. I think in the end they'll still buy him. I think because it's from Final Fantasy. But maybe I'm wrong. We'll see.
Well, I'm not going to lie. Like, I love Final Fantasy. I've been playing it for years. Like, and 16, I really enjoyed, and I like Clive. He's a good character. But at not one point I sat there and said, "Yo, let's get Clive in Tekken 8. This could be amazing." I never. He wasn't my. I want Marduk. Where's Give me Marduk back. That's what I wanted. You know, when I saw Clive, I was a bit disappointed. Yeah, because I was like, I was hoping it'd be somebody else, but. I'm swinging. I'm going to play him because I think he looks cool and he looks enjoyable. But because Tekken 8 essentially has taught me that, I feel like it's taught me that it's okay to enjoy these fantastical moves, these fantastical, characters. Because I know I know we talked about it briefly, but he does fit Tekken 8. He doesn't fit any other Tekken but 8. He just fits because of the way Tekken 8 is.
Joe, I think there's a disconnect between the people that were like really invested in the gameplay portion of Tekken, and then the people that just sort of liked Tekken and liked messing around with it. Because I can understand some of their arguments where they look at the game and they see devils and angels, and they're listening to us talking about us, thinking, "What the hell are they going on about?" But I think for people that have been sitting down playing Tekken since Tekken 1, I don't know how many people in the chat have, but for me, I was struggling to understand how they were not understanding where I was coming from, because Tekken was never like that to me. Like this, I've never seen anything like this before. This is crazy.
Neither have I.
This would be crazy for Soul Calibur.
Yeah, I agree. I'll be honest with you, Mike, man, when I was watching the Game Awards live, watching all of this pop off, I really got depressed. When I saw it, and then no, let me finish, right? As soon as I saw Jin, I thought this was just a Final Fantasy 16 game because I was watching it live, and then I see Jin, I was finished. I was done. What saved me was Virtual Fighter 6, right? And I like Tekken, right? But what saved me from that was because what I'm seeing from Clive is it's crazy. I'm seeing all this madness. I'm seeing all this scream noise happening on the screen, right? That's the thing that's going to annoy me fighting is everything that's going to be happening on the screen noise, all of these moves, right? I think looks like he has every tool for almost every answer in that game. Plus he's got meter, right? We don't have a single meter mechanic in Tekken 8, I think. I know we got the installs, but that isn't really the same.
It's basically an install, basically. But we'll see. But it's basically more than meter. It's like an install, basically. From what I understood, the more gauge you have, like 2, 3, 4, you have access to different new moves. Basically, it's an install, basically. Even though we don't call it that way, but like if you get to 2 stacks, you get to a new move. 3 stacks, a new move, and so on. You have to.
You will guaranteed have the 5 stacks in every game once at least. You know why? Because every game you also have Lydia stacks there because they design the characters in a way that they are likely to get it. Same with Heihachi, you just need to go 3 times Heat Burst and that's it. You can go Warrior Instinct. I actually had a live reaction to the trailer and I can't lie, you can see it in my face how we didn't even know who that is.
I saw your reaction. It made me laugh. You look like your soul left your body. But I wanted to, just before, there's Iranian Dusters in the chat. I want to give him a chance to say what he wants to say. But just to make it clear to the chat, because I did read some comments yesterday and I've read some comments just now. I don't think Clive himself is going to destroy the game. I don't believe that. So people that keep on saying that, I've never said that. Okay, if you don't hear me say something, don't just type it out because it's not true. I also I'm not mad that Clive is in the game. I think people are misunderstanding why we're having these conversations. We like playing Tekken. We enjoy having chats. People obviously like coming and listen to the chat, so that's why we're having them. And I like giving people a space to talk. So no one's upset here, okay? For everyone in the chat, it's like, oh, Mike's crying, Medusa's crying, Blackheart's screaming. That's not what's happening here, okay?
No, I am a shill. I am a shill.
The way you think, you know.
I'm gonna lie, every time I see Clive on screen, I have to change my underwear. I have tons and thousands of underwear.
Thing is,
I wanna let Iranian Dust.
Yeah.
I wanna let Iranian Dust say his piece because he's coming to the chat.
Yeah.
So,
Hello, can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
All right. I just had a question. Like, what's like the real issue? Like, is it like that client has a weapon, or like what? Because like weapon-based fighters, I feel like can still be grounded. That's like I don't know.
Is that guy grounded, bro?
Because I hear like wait, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm saying you say they can be grounded. Yeah, they can be, but he is not.
I mean, no. Yeah. I know that, but like, I see a lot of arguments like weapons don't fit with tag kids and stuff like that. But like, I just want to like it's pretty like what's it called? There are martial arts that use weapons. So like, I don't know what's the issue with weapons. Like, not Clive himself. I'm just like in general. Like, if a future character, like, let's just say like if a future character, he or she's from the Philippines, right? And he's using like double stick fighting. I don't know what it's called. I forget. Like, would people complain about that, or would you have an issue?
No. The stick. The
not even
weapon is
nunchucks.
not.
You need an example. Nunchucks. If you think about nunchucks.
The weapon is not the issue because again, Yoshimitsu had been in it. Kunimitsu's been in it, and I've played other fighting games where there's sword-based characters or people that are using sticks or whatever. The weapon's not the issue, but what the issue is here is what is on screen. Like Clive there's Phoenix wings coming out of him. He's shooting blasts all over the place. There's a wolf jumping on you. He's teleporting. He's using a flame teleport. He's flying. He's shooting ice balls at you. It's not the weapon so much because you can have a grounded martial artist with a weapon. You could give him a stick, or you've had Negan with a baseball bat. That's not the issue here. The issue is what was like he's literally using magic in a game that has predominantly been about martial arts, and even the characters that have supernatural abilities. When you actually sit and play with them, someone was saying, "Oh, Marduk picks up a car. It's martial arts, right?" Marduk picks up a car in the intro. He doesn't pick up the car in the fight and throw it at you, because then we'd have a problem. Can you imagine if Marduk picks up a car in the middle of the game? We'd all be like, "What the fuck is this?" If he picks up in the intro,
he is a gimmick character, Yoshimitsu. When they say, "Okay, yeah, they had weapons," we had like a few gimmicky characters, but now they increased it and times 5. You are playing basically Elden Ring, but the opponent is not an AI but a human being, and he shoots magic and everything. This makes no sense.
Yeah, but the point is this, okay? What if let's for a moment think, what if he did, okay? What if Marduk really does this in the gameplay but doesn't break the mechanics? Why would you won't like it? Why? Tell me why.
if he
I'm not saying you're wrong. Explain to me why it's wrong.
If he's throwing a car,
what?
Are you asking me? Would I be upset?
I'm asking not in aggressive. I'm just trying to understand why you wouldn't like it. If Marduk, let's say that Marduk is added in Tekken 8 and really does this, but it's worked around in a balanced way in the gameplay. Okay, why wouldn't you?
What are you
like
saying? Does what?
Marduk throws a car at you, but in a balanced way. Why would you not like it?
Bro, I don't even know.
I'm not saying you're wrong. Just tell me why. I want to understand. Because at the end of the day, it's still a fight. It's still a video game, not realistical. So if it's balanced, in my opinion, whatever anime shit you throw at me, I don't care, because at the end of the day, it's not a realistical fighting game anyway. If it's balanced properly, I don't mind.
Right, let me explain to you what the problem is. First of all, it would be stupid. Okay, I don't even need to talk about balance. Throwing a VW at my head would piss me off. Okay, I don't want someone throwing a Ferrari at me in the middle of a martial arts fight. Secondly, you saying that it doesn't matter because it's a video game. That would basically throw all video game production into flux, because people would be like, "Fuck the nature of the game. Let's just put any old rubbish in there."
Yeah, but I know, but in Tekken it wouldn't fit. In Tekken 8, yes. In Tekken 8 specifically, yes. In Tekken in general, no. In Tekken 8, yes, because the game is all about this bullshit. You remove Tekken 8 from Tekken existence.
And I
hold on a second. You telling me that Marduk throwing a car at you fits in Tekken 8?
In Tekken 8, the game is so bullshit that yes, it would be.
Can I say something about this? There's always a scale when we talk about like subjects. You have like a little bit and very extreme, min and max. when we say that there is something unreasonable, but you can, or for example, something that looks unrealistic, which is then the juggle system, because you can't juggle someone in the air for that long. That's unrealistic. But it is unrealistic and it makes sense. Bro, Marduk throwing a car at you is just like this doesn't make
Yeah,
any
but Tekken
sense.
8 is not realistic. All Tekken 8 is based on bullshit.
You don't get my point, bro.
Yeah.
Realism, okay, we have situations where we compromise for realism for a better gameplay. Here you compromise realism for a pile of shit.
This is what Tekken 8 is. So either you accept it or not.
But before we bring in the next, Iranian Dust,
Tekken 8 is a pile of shit.
Blackheart, hold on a second. Iranian Dust, was there anything else you wanted to add before we bring in the next person? Because I've got to keep switching people.
Oh, really? All right, then yeah, I got really nothing else to say. I just had to say that. All right,
No
thank
worries,
you.
bro. Cheers for contributing.
All right.
Okay, I'll get the next person in. Cheers for contributing. Is this Dances with Incels? That's a crazy name. Get the next person in. Cheers for contributing. Can you hear me? Incels, that's a crazy name.
Oh. Hello?
Yeah, you're echoing, bro.
Hello?
You gotta turn off the stream.
Hello? Hello?
Oh my god, no, I can't deal with that. I can't deal with that.
Well, could I say something if that's possible?
Who's talking?
The Asby Gaming.
Yeah,
Tekken 8.
go for it.
Yeah, regarding the car, right? I'll be honest with you, I'm gonna be a bit petty. If in Tekken 8 they brought Marduk, right, as the final DLC character with a car, I won't be complaining. Because
You see? Exactly.
Let me explain why, right? I wouldn't want. I personally, for me, I wouldn't want to see a car in the game, right? I despise Clive so much. I would prefer that. But anyway, when you fight as Kuma, right? Kuma has a fish, right? That literally turns into a robotic fish, flies in the air, and literally blows you up as his rage up.
That's a rage up, bro. So
What's the difference with the Marduk throwing a car? What's the difference?
He got a fish, right? And
That
the
makes
fish
no
blows
sense.
up, and it's like made by the machine tech.
Bro, if
Right?
Marduk throws a car at me when he does his rage art, fine. We're talking about when he throws it in the neutral like a fucking down forward 1, bro.
You know, so
I mean, Kuma as an hit smash that throws a fucking fish plus 10 on block on you. So
So let me get this straight. If Kuma pulled out a beehive and started throwing honey at you so he can get advantage, is that what we're doing now?
the point is another. The point is it's stupid either way because Tekken 8 is stupid. That's the point. If it was in Tekken 7, it's shit. In Tekken 8, it's so much shit going around, and everything is justifiable these days. But
So
because
what
the
you're
general
saying is
direction of the
because
game
it's stupid,
is shit.
we make it more
At this
stupid.
point, let's just jump to Tekken 9 at this point because all Tekken 8 is shit. It's not about single characters. The problem is about the general direction of the game. So either you destroy everything about Tekken 8, or you have to accept everything.
You don't have to accept everything.
You can say, of course, with reasoning that this is wrong, of course, and I agree. I'm the first one to agree. My point is that the game is irredeemable at this point. So or either you accept it, or you go away, or you wait for a better Tekken game. Because honestly, I think Tekken 8 at this point it's irredeemable. I think.
So your method is to just continuously push it further into the abyss.
Yeah, that was
Tekken 8 in terms of art direction is already in the abyss. There can be wrong.
I think for a lot of people, Clive is the abyss for them. I think that's the problem. So it's like, how do you come back from it? Like, if you're someone who hates Clive with a passion, like this is not your Tekken. How do you come back from this? Like, what do you do now?
I think there's multiple ways back, but it's certainly not throwing a car at somebody's head. I mean, first of all, you got to think about what it's going to mean for Tekken 9 if people like Blackheart encourage these sort of things.
No, I don't encourage it. I just say that.
It.
No, I don't encourage it. I say that in this art direction, Tekken 8 is nothing is over the top anymore because everything is over the top in Tekken 8. In Tekken 9, I want a better Tekken game, of course, like you all. I want a better Tekken 9 game than this shit. But in Tekken 8, Clive doesn't, is not different from other characters because everything is over the top. Of course, I want a better Tekken 9 game. Everybody wants a better Tekken 9 game, of course. In Tekken 8, it's just so over the top that everything is acceptable at this point.
I'm gonna try bring Dances with Incels back in, see if it works for him.
And you all ate Clive with no reasoning, and I will kick your ass tomorrow.
All right, I hope you guys can hear me now. I think I got my mic working.
Okay, bro. What did you want to say?
Oh yeah. Well, pretty much Blackheart saying is everything he's saying is wrong. Clive is a total eyesore in this last DLC inclusion. I mean, he just doesn't fit at all with the aesthetic of any fighting game except for Soul Calibur. And plus, Final Fantasy 16 was garbage anyway. It was probably like the worst Final Fantasy game to ever exist in history. But I think if we knew hindsight, like if the Steam user agreement for companies to release like the DLC lineup down the line. And if everybody knew that Clive was the last DLC for like this season, the first season characters lineup, like I think a lot more people wouldn't have bought the season pass, like the first season pass. I certainly would have. I wouldn't have. Like that was the case. Like if I knew Clive was the last one, like everybody was assuming it was going to be like either like Baki or Yujiro, like an actual fighting game character, or like Scorpion. Well, even though I'm not a fan of Mortal Kombat or anything like that, but anybody else besides Clive would have been like way better than this. Like I think that's why this.
So
is,
you're telling me that Scorpion, I'm not a huge Mortal Kombat enjoyer, but you're telling me Scorpion in Tekken 8 will fit.
It will fit better than Clive comparatively.
I don't know. I have my doubts.
Oh yeah,
I don't even like Scorpion. Like I don't like Mortal Kombat, but like it would have made more sense because he's an actual fighter. Like it would have made way more aesthetic sense. Like Clive doesn't aesthetically fit. Like I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Like it's plus like he's from like the literal past, like medieval, England. I mean, whatever what inspired his creation or his game background. Like
isn't FF16 basically like Devil May Cry?
Not really. No, it's more like Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts 1.
Because I heard the Devil May Cry developers help with designing Clive's gameplay.
I mean that might be the case, but play wise, like you only have like a dedicated dodge and it's nothing really like Devil May Cry. Like you don't have contextual move sets like Dante does. Like you have weapon switching, but it's really like shallow.
The combat system, I mean, the combo system, isn't it similar?
Yeah, he does remind me of Dante and Virgil. Like when I was playing it, it did feel like didn't the guys that worked on it work on him as well?
No, he's more like he doesn't really feel like a Dante. He's more like what was the
You're looking from it from a microscope right now. We are talking from macro.
I mean, but that's besides the point. I'm just talking about his inclusion in Tekken 8.
That's the point.
Yeah, but that's why I'm bringing up the Final Fantasy, like the Devil May Cry-esque fight style, because we basically have a Devil May Cry looking as character now. Like the Final Fantasy has different iterations. That's the point. The point of it is to say that he got into this game from a Final Fantasy iteration that plays more like Devil May Cry.
I mean, whatever the case, whatever gameplay style that inspired him, just as he is, I mean, whatever, if you want to call him a fighter, I mean, it just simply doesn't fit at all. And like, I'm a Final Fantasy fan. I'm more of a Kingdom Hearts fan. And what led me to become a Final Fantasy fan. I mean, I would have liked to see an actual Final Fantasy fighter. That would have been nice. Like, I would have liked Tifa too, as far as like my personal preference. But I mean, even though I don't even like 7 anyway. But it would have made more sense to have him or say Bond, like someone, or even like Snow, like anybody who can fight. But like you might as well not have put a Final Fantasy character in the first place. I mean, it just my contention, like it just doesn't fit. And like Final Fantasy 16 is like a contentious Final Fantasy game anyway. Like I just don't see. I mean, I can understand why they came to this decision, but it's just way too divisive. Like but he's in, so we're just gonna deal with it for now. But I'm personally like as a recent fan of Tekken, and I'm just not happy with this inclusion here.
All right, man. Well, thank you for joining. I'm gonna try to get the next person in here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for your time.
No worries, bro. Cheers. Who we got? Joe Beans. Joe, can you hear us?
Loud and clear, Mike. How you guys doing today?
Yeah, not too bad, man. What did you want to add to the conversation?
Well, just wanted to add that I know I might go a little bit off subject, but I might take it back to what you guys were talking about in the beginning of the stream when you guys were going through all the Tekkens pretty much and seeing like what was its identity. You know, to me, I always thought that me playing fighting games, like I'm 37, I've been playing, and ever since Street Fighter 2 was out, I've been playing fighting games. So I've touched them all pretty much. Not in a, you know, I'm not trying to say I'm high tier or whatever, but I'm just trying to say I've touched them all pretty much. So I always saw Tekken as so there's, when it comes to the fighting game space, especially the genre, there's a pendulum. There's pretty much one side to another side. One side of the fighting games is you got Street Fighter, right? The other side where Street Fighter, it links into the whole like Fireball and, you know, like the make believe stuff, and then you got Virtual Fighter on the other side where it comes into the realism. I think Tekken has always, since the beginning, has been always trying to fit in the middle when it comes to the identity of it. And pretty much ever since now, it's just been, they get influenced pretty easy, especially in today's age of gaming, where now is all about, you know, guest characters and everything. And I think what needs to happen is that they need to look at pretty much where their identity is going to fall for the next game, or is it going to fall more on the Street Fighter side of stuff, where they're just going to go all the way, or are they just going to go back to pretty much their Tekken 1, Tekken 2 days, where it was pretty much a virtual fighter-esque, you know, type of game. So I think that's what they need to do, is just find themselves pretty much of what they got to do, because yeah, they want to go for the casuals and stuff, but sometimes the casuals, you can buy as many DLCs as you can, but that's not gonna pretty much get you to where you need to be at. You know what I'm saying? So
The thing is, with Clive, the DLC edition doesn't advertise Tekken 8 to a different audience. It advertises Clive to the Tekken community.
exactly.
That's the dynamics of the situation. And what we wanted was, for example, just a very simple one. Check out the fake trailer of Baki Tekken 8. Look at the clicks, and then you tell me that this character would have been not a great addition. This makes no sense. It's like Square Enix gave money to Bandai Namco to put the character into the game because Final Fantasy 16 doesn't have good success in the Final Fantasy universe.
Yeah, it could have been that.
I mean, the fact that Baki will be a great addition, and I don't doubt that, doesn't also imply the Clive is not a bad addition. I think it's too early to decide that. I think we have to wait and see how it sells. Maybe in the end they will prove you wrong, or me wrong, but maybe you prove me wrong. I think it's just wrong to say now already that Clive is a bad addition, period. We can discuss about why and when, and etc., etc. Right now, in terms of marketing sales, we cannot say if it will be a success or not. We have to wait and see, I guess. But Baki being added would be cool. No, get me wrong.
All right, cool, bro. I'm gonna bring in somebody else. Was there anything else you wanted to add?
Nah, no problem. Yeah, man. I appreciate you guys having me on and stuff. So, and Mike, you're doing good, bro.
Thanks, bro. We couldn't hear what you said. The line was cutting up there.
Oh, yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
No, I said you're doing good stuff, man. You're speaking for the working man. So keep it up, man.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Thanks for watching. All right. Is there anything you guys want to add before I bring the next person in?
No, the point is that Tekken, of course, is in between realism and anime. Probably that is the worst spot to stay because you don't know which direction you want to go, and that's Tekken 8 right now. It doesn't know which direction you need to go. Basically, either realism or magic or anime.
Yeah, I agree. with you guys.
Maybe I don't know. People like more traditional tech, and I'm more a martial arts tech, and I'm not gonna say that it's stupid. I personally don't mind if it's more anime, if it's balanced well. I don't.
Yeah,
mind.
I think that's what it boils down to. It boils down to like, you know, the martial arts purist, and then you've got the magic and all the fantasy and all the anime. It's like, where do you go? How do you they balanced it well in other Tekkens, but now it's gone so far, you know, that way. It's like, where do you stop? With the next DLC character, the next guest character, how far? You know, Clive's opened up the door for so many more now. Like, he's literally opened the door, like the forbidden door is open essentially. Like, anyone can come in. He's the opening. So now it's like, now your imagination can go wild. There's no stopping them now. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah. Also, I just want to say, before I'm getting a lot of messages from people. I've seen the Virtua Fighter leak. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
Well, what leak? What leak?
There's a leak of Virtua Fighter 6 where you can see Akira fighting, and it's got the health bars. Yeah, and the people are in an uproar right now. I was on Twitter, and people are not happy with what they're seeing. I think people are overreacting.
Why?
I think.
Can we watch it?
I don't want to put a leak on screen. It's not. It's just a screenshot. it's of Akira fighting, and you can see his life bar, and you can see another bar underneath it. So immediately people are like, "Oh, it might be a super meter. It could be a stamina meter. We don't know." But people are not happy right now. I can see your messages. I've seen the leak, guys. I'm well aware of what is going on.
I wonder if it's real or fake, bro.
Yo, Aspire, your mic is bugging me. I had to mute you.
I wanted to make a verse and see the echo. Okay, no worries. Okay.
I'm gonna bring in the next guy. So we've got Iron Sight Sarcasm here.
All right, like I'd say, where does the line draw between too much anime and like a normal amount of anime? Because
exactly.
Like you have characters like Lars who are like, you know, he's spinning and shit, and he's doing lightning tornadoes and shit in his rage art. You have characters like Jack, you know, his fucking heat smash. You know, he's got a railgun, 10-frame railgun, and he just fucking does that shit from the sky. Like,
yeah, exactly.
What's the difference between
people hated it, but don't bring up rage arts, please, because rage art doesn't matter how it looks.
No, but even in gameplay, Medus, even in Heat, a lot of cards, a lot of anime bullshit in Tekken 8. That's why it's pointless to complain, because Tekken 8 is about all of that shit.
But so you can like about Tekken 8 Blackheart. It's not. This stream is not about Clive. It's about the direction.
No, in fact, I'm saying about Tekken 8. In fact, I'm not talking about Clive. All Tekken 8 is about all that. Again, it's all about anime shit, and you can like it or not. I don't know what does it do they like the problem is this, that you don't know for sure what direction is more like. I think the majority doesn't like this anime direction, but when you see at the numbers of Tekken and the numbers it's selling right now, it's proving them wrong. So I don't know at this point.
That makes no sense though, because the numbers are not indicative of how successful this idea of the game is. It could have been, and which I really believe, that if they would have not done it, they would have even more success, because Tekken 7 was at a very good spot at the end. It was growing still. It had a lot of momentum. It had a lot of players. Tekken 8 came out, and in comparison to that was not an insane increase. Now check this out. From Tekken Tag Tournament 2 to Tekken 7, the franchise was in the bin, and it grew through Tekken 7. Now Tekken 8, I tell you, we had so much more exposure than in Tekken 7, but we couldn't retain the same percentage in relation to how big the thing is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Medus, Tekken 7 was a success, right? You agree?
Tekken 7 was a success, yes.
And Tekken 7 was more anime or less. So the point is, maybe it's not about the anime problem, it's about the gameplay problem, the balancing problem, and all this shit maybe. Tekken 7 was more anime or not compared to previous Tekken games?
Yeah, but I do not like it. I didn't like that aspect.
It's okay. But did it sell more or less? Did it save the franchise or not?
It sold more, but you are making it out as if the reason for it selling more was because it was anime.
No, I'm making the point that anime is not the crucial point of the discussion of a game success. The point is about gameplay. The game can even be more anime, but if the gameplay is as shit as Tekken 8, it will fail, probably.
I think it's a little bit disingenuous, though, because there's a clear difference between Tekken 7 and Tekken 8. You can leap more into the anime side, but we can all agree that Tekken 8 has dived headfirst into it. They're not the same thing.
No, sorry, I didn't get your point, Mike.
It's
Generally,
Tekken 7 might be a bit more anime than Tekken Tag Tournament 2, right? But
Mm.
Tekken 8 is way more anime than Tekken 7 was. So just because Tekken 7 got a big boost in sales and people jump back on it does not mean that you go even further and the same result is going to happen. They might have crossed the line here. And what
Yeah, but
Medusa's saying
we
is right.
cannot
They
tell.
built.
I think we cannot tell you.
We can't tell it yet. We can't tell yet. But although I acknowledge that we are part of a small bubble in the FGC and we don't know what the wider player base is saying yet, we probably won't know until 2-3 years down the line where this game is truly performing. I didn't see this level of vitriol towards Tekken 7, and it might be an indicator of what other people are feeling outside of it. And I do think it's fair to point out that Tekken Tag 2, they almost killed the franchise, and Tekken 7 built it back up. So Tekken 8 is reaping the benefits of Tekken 7's work, right? We don't know if Tekken 8 is going to continue that on.
Agreed.
Yeah, but I think the game is. I don't think anime is what it's killing Tekken 8. I think what it's killing Tekken 8 is about how not enjoyable the game. We agree on this. How gameplay is so shit in Tekken 8. I think that's what's killing the game, because the game can even be more flashy, but it's not if it's not playable. If it's frustrating to play, it just naturally brings people out of the game. I think that's the main focus. The thing is, what we like anime or not is not the main issue, in my opinion. Again, but
the stuff that we say anime is not essentially a character looking like Lars. What we're saying is what we liked in Tekken 7 and 4 made the franchise great again. Basically, we wanted that increased good movement, etc. What the things that we didn't like was like too much 50-50 coin flip, and then whatever we liked kind of got reduced, and what we did not like is now times 3.
I agree on this.
The anime-esque style that we are talking about, because they wanted to be flashy and entertaining to watch on the detriment of the person that plays it.
Yeah, but it's because not because of the anime itself, but because the anime is linked to the shitty gameplay we are having. That's the point.
We can
not
use a
visually,
different.
It's about the gameplay anime things.
You can have anime characters who play well. What if Clive was as well designed as someone like a Kazuya or a fucking Heihachi? Like, what's the Well, would you be complaining then, or do you?
What do you mean with Kazuya and Heihachi? Sorry.
Like, if he was like a traditional Tekken character, like he didn't have anything like stupid gimmicky, or what do you say? Like, he doesn't have stuff like Noctis where he's just getting you across the screen, stuff like that.
No, I wouldn't mind, because that's what Negan was like. When I saw Negan at first, I think I had the same reaction as everyone else. I said, what the fuck is this? But then you play him, and he just plays like a Tekken character. There's nothing about him that really stands out other than his bat.
Yeah.
He played like a Tekken character, that's for sure.
He was even very fundamental Tekken character. Now check this out.
Yeah, it was very hard to play.
Yeah, so I think it does depend. It doesn't. I was trying to explain to people on Twitter, it doesn't really matter that it was Noctis or Clive. It's how they interact with the game and how the game is being shaped by these characters. And even Heat itself, like, how many times have you heard people say this is a stupid anime mechanic? Like, Heat's just everything about Tekken 8 is leaning more towards the anime stuff.
Yeah, I agree on that. But because it's affecting the gameplay, one thing is visually, one thing is gameplay wise. Because people are not liking Clive visually.
That's what I was trying to explain all the time when I said the gameplay is anime, and you said,
oh, so on that we agree. The problem is people are not liking Clive visually or gameplay wise. Because if we talk visually, I think it's not a problem if it's gameplay balanced. I don't mind that. But if people don't like Clive visually, they have to tell me an explanation of why.
Bro, it's not about the visuals. It's about going into the game and fighting against this, bro. The thing is, everyone that likes the character, everyone that likes the character says, yeah, at least my character is in the game. As long as I have this character, he can also throw a truck at you. But the point is, a developer needs to make you happy in playing your character and make it in a way that not everyone curses you as soon as they see your character. And that's the problem with Tekken 8. You see the opponent's character on the loading screen and you already feel defeated. And now when Clive, on top of that, Clive is gonna be so obnoxious to fight against, and people say then, yeah, but this is only one DLC and they will bring out another character, maybe you like that one, but gee, I need to fight against this for the rest of the lifespan of Tekken 8.
But every character is not fun to
It's,
fight
it's
against. Them.
for me, it's not a problem. For
So
me,
is that now
For
a
me,
good
it's not a problem.
argument for the game or against the game? I'm saying they made the game in a way anime-esque so that it is not nice to fight almost anyone at this point. Heat.
Oh, so again, we get to the same point over and over again. So it's about the art direction of Tekken 8 at this point, including Clive at this point.
No,
So-
art direction is the visuals, gameplay direction is anime.
It's correlated. It's they are linked things between each other. But I get your point. I get your point.
Right
I
now.
get your point.
So
I get
everyone,
your
what
point.
were you saying in sarcasm?
Sorry, oh man, I'm sorry, I forgot my point. Y'all can go back to speaking. My bad.
Did you have anything else you wanted to add, or I'll get the next person in?
Nah, I don't really have anything else to add, but I do gotta say this, man. Mike, I really do love the content. Love what you're doing for this fighting game community.
Wow.
Keep up the good work, man.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. Black Hole, what's the problem with that? Huh?
No, I don't. No, he basically shits on Clive in 2 days. So I don't like. I don't like you anymore, Mike.
I'm not shitting on
Alright.
Clive. I incite sarcasm. I appreciate that, bro. Thank you very much. We'll catch you in a bit, man. Moonsault Slayer, if you want to join, just send me a message on Discord and we'll add you in. All right, we've got Major Monty in now. What did you want to say, bro?
Hey guys, happy holidays. Yeah, so I'm a bit younger than you, Mike, but I actually have played Tekken since Tekken 1. Tekken
Okay.
1's probably the first game I ever played, either that or Pokemon Red in it, you know what I mean, when I was a little kid. But I've played very casually. It's never been like very serious. It's always just been, me or my mates and stuff like that. So I played Tekken 1. I played Tekken 2. Tekken 2 is my most played Tekken. I
Tekken
didn't play
2.
3. Yeah, Tekken 2 is
Okay.
my most played Tekken. I play that all the time. I didn't play 3 or 4. I played 5 on the PS. Not really. I didn't know who he was. To be honest with you, like Final Fantasy 16 wasn't like a massive success or a runaway franchise. So I'm thinking if you're gonna go for that style of character, you might as well put like Virgil or or Dante, someone a bit more known. But I wanted Baki or Yujiro. But I wouldn't make the argument that he doesn't fit in this game. I think he totally fits in this game. I think he would have even fit in 7 as well, because that's the way they've been trending.
You know why I don't agree with you? The thing is,
Yeah.
you are conflating two things. One thing is you have gimmicky stuff and flashy stuff. You have flashy stuff and Devil Jin's laser you brought up. You can use it on a low level and make it fun for the people that are new to the franchise, but it shouldn't come to a detriment of the pro players or the players that invested more time into the game and get to know the heart of the game. Because the heart of a
100%.
fighting game is the gameplay. So you can obviously have flashy stuff which should be exploitable in a sense. What they did now with Tekken 8 especially is that they give the flashy and unsensible stuff good properties, and those control the pace of the game, and this is why it's annoying to play, because you can't really do much about it. When you have like a character flying mid-combo, no one has a problem with it. The problem arises when the foundation of the gameplay is infested with the gimmicks.
Okay,
That's the problem. The foundation of the game is the problem. I agree on this.
So that's a different argument entirely, in terms of talking about like
Yeah, you
the
said
martial
Devil
arts
Jin
and stuff.
shoots lasers and stuff. It was always crazy. But
No, and I said, you counterpointed that that's from like a pro level perspective, right? But I'm saying me as just a casual player playing with my friends, right? I'm doing that sort of stuff for them. So I'm saying, yeah, you can argue that at higher levels that's not really applicable. But at lower levels, if you're just really casual in your friend's house, you can do this sort of crazy stuff. And they're
no,
not
what
gonna
I
say,
mean is you use that stuff that you use on a low level now also against us because the properties are too good. It is not exploitable anymore. Before it was good to have the flashy stuff. You could do it with your friends at home, but when you would try it against me, it shouldn't work, and that was correct. Now it works against every level because the gimmicks are strong. Before they were not.
yeah, but it's still in the game.
It's
though. You know what I'm
this is
saying? So if
absolutely
we're talking
true.
about
Absolutely true.
if we're talking about a game based on realism, if we're talking about a game, the realism, the groundedness of the game, right? It's just because they're bad doesn't mean they're not in the game. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, if you compare that to Virtual Fighter, for example, Virtual Fighter, it doesn't exist in Virtual Fighter because the approach of the game is entirely realistic. It's grounded in realistic martial arts. So they're not going to have laser beams and say, oh, but the laser beams are bad. They don't have laser beams because there's no demons and angels and, you know what I mean? There's none of that anime shit in that. It's a legitimately grounded martial arts game. You know, and that's why
It's about the gameplay
I
being
think
realistic, not the visuals. It's about the character using something that makes no sense, but it is exploitable. If it is not exploitable, it will reflect in the gameplay, and that will annoy people because you can't do anything against it. We are not saying the game must be now ultra hyper realistic and no more flying and all these things. We are saying it shouldn't emphasize the core of the gameplay so that you can't escape it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
no,
that's
but
the
I'm saying,
problem.
look,
That's the problem.
but I feel like that's a slightly a different argument because if we're talking about, you know, martial arts versus magic, you know, so your argument is okay, the magical and fantasy stuff was always there, but because it was bad, it wasn't a problem. Is that what you? Is that so? I'm just trying to confirm your viewpoint.
I'm saying that when a character could fly or shoot a laser, the laser would be so steppable or so slow that it didn't matter if it's in the game or
Okay,
not.
no, so
But
I'm saying,
now
so
they give
it's
the
not a problem.
properties. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. So it's not a problem as long as it's bad, you don't mind it. That's what I'm trying
Yeah.
to say. Okay, like I said, you know that's okay. That's your viewpoint. So I understand that. I understand that now. But like I said, I was just trying to make it clear that you know that there has been anime elements always throughout this franchise. See what I'm saying? That's what I was trying
If you were looking
to
at it on a
make.
pie chart, though, would you say that it used to lean more towards the grounded martial arts? Or would you say it's always leaned more towards anime?
Depends.
No,
Depends.
I mean
Depends on the game.
it's
Depends on the game.
it's trending upwards. It's trending upwards. It's trending upwards. You know, and there has been irregularities in the franchise. For example, like I said, I thought Tekken 2 was full of like anime nonsense. Whereas like I look at clips going back at Tekken 4, Tekken 4 seems a hell of a lot more grounded than Tekken 2 even. You know, and you wouldn't expect that. You think it would be a straight upwards trajectory in terms of how much anime bullshit is in the game. But then Tekken 4 is such a departure from what they were sort of building up to. But I guess maybe because that game flopped, they said, you know what, we're gonna go back to leaning on more of the anime aesthetic. You know, maybe if Tekken 4 had done really, really well, they would have continued down that path.
The problem is that this anime shit now is also overwhelming. That's the problem. Because before it was just gimmicks. Now it's also overwhelming, but it's with everybody. This matter with everybody, and it's of course it's annoying. I'm not gonna say it's fun to play against, but you know, at this point, I don't know what you can do in order to tone down this in Tekken 8 specifically. Maybe if the community here makes herself hear out on the developers, maybe they can work better on Tekken 9 to bring a little bit more balance at least on between the anime overwhelming stuff and the core gameplay stuff. Because of course everybody agrees that now anime shit is too overwhelming, but it's everything like this.
Okay.
I mean, guys,
I want to get
Moonsaw
in here. Sorry, go on.
Oh, sorry. No, I'm saying even if you put Heat to one side, because we all acknowledge that Heat is just over the top, needs to be toned down, needs to be reworked and restructured, right? Look at characters like Kazuya and Devil Jin, for example, even Jin. They've got their magical powers built into their bread and butter combos now. Do you get what I'm saying? It's no longer just okay in their super moves or their rage arts, whatever they're using their devil powers. Like Kazuya is using in his basic attack. So is
Yeah,
Jin.
but that is in
So
the
is Devil
combo.
Jin.
That is in the combo when you're in the
No,
air
but
and you
that's what I'm
can't
trying to
play the
say.
game.
No, but
What are you trying
that's
to
what I'm
say?
trying to say though. No, but what I'm trying to say is that whereas before in earlier iterations of Tekken, right, they might access these abilities in specific gimmicks or you know what I mean, in certain moments, right, or even just in the story. Now in your bread and butter combos, there's anime powers, there's laser beams built into the combos. So what I'm trying to say is anime is ingrained in Tekken now. Even if you remove Raid, anime is
But this is
ingrained
good,
in
in my
Tekken.
opinion. For example, you can have some anime if you are getting
Oh,
juggled. The whole juggle system is unrealistic for making the gameplay more engaging. If the combo system allows you to do a flashy combo while I'm in the air and not actively playing, then that is even good. We are saying don't put it into the neutral when we are standing in front of each other and we're throwing grenades and nukes.
No, I'm more talking. I'm more addressing like Mike's initial point of you know magic versus martial arts. And what I'm trying to say is, even if you look beyond Tekken 8's flaws with its with its heat mechanic, like now the magic is built into the combo. They're one and the same now. The magic and the martial arts are now so intertwined. Even if you put heat to one side, it's that intertwined into the game now, into the fabric of the game.
I think it's okay if you're doing a combo and mid combo they do something crazy because it's not interrupting the neutral. So if you're doing a combo and Devil Jin flies up to continue it, you're already in the combo. So at that point, I don't care. And it's kind of similar to a Rager. You're already caught in the source, so there's nothing you can do about it. But
That's not really martial arts, though, is it?
No, but if you initiate in the neutral that way, that's where it becomes a problem, and that's why when I'm saying it's grounded in martial arts, I'm saying the way the characters interact with each other when you're in the neutral is not the way it is now, right? What we're seeing Clive doing with the flash stepping with flying, with fire, and he's flying and he's shooting ice balls. If he could only shoot an ice ball during a combo, I wouldn't care that much. But this guy goes into a fly stance and starts shooting ice balls, and I think the initiation problem is the issue that some Tekken players are having with it.
Yeah, but you don't even know if that is that is I don't know. You don't even know if that is actually good in gameplay or not. That's one of the points I would say, because like Victor seemed, oh my god, he shoots from 10,000 kilometers. Okay, okay, but in the gameplay, is it overwhelming in the gameplay, or it's just a little bit annoying? And I agree. You don't even know if that is optimal.
I don't think it's not the case of it being good. I've not made the argument for balance. I've never made the argument.
Wait,
yeah, but
why does Shadow Clone?
If you don't have any based around the fact that it destroys the gameplay, how can we say that already? Maybe it's a fucking 26 frames high projectile. Maybe it's not, but maybe it is. So what's the point at this point? You know what I mean? We just don't know yet if the anime bullshit of Clive, the virtually anime bullshit of Clive is gonna destroy the gameplay. We just don't know yet.
No, I don't
maybe
think
you're right. Maybe you're wrong.
I don't think you're understanding my point, but I do want to move the conversation along. So, Major, was there anything else you want to add?
I don't understand.
I'm going to bring Moonsault in.
You know, just real quick. I'm saying you're saying that okay, it's only when it disturbs the neutral that it's more of an issue, right? I'm looking at characters like Raven. I know Raven's shit, right? But he's sending out shadow clones and stuff like that. Like he's Naruto. He's sending out shadow clones in the neutral, like Noob Saibot from Mortal Kombat.
One sec. Sorry, you said that Raven's sending out what? Sorry.
He's sending out shadow clones in the neutral, like he's Naruto.
Yeah, I was literally having this conversation with Fallen the other day. I was saying to him that, yeah, Raven's stupid as well, what they've done with him. I don't like it either. I'm not excusing Tekken characters. Don't get me wrong. I'm not excusing what's happening in Tekken 8. That's why this conversation is not just centered around Clive. It is very much an issue with Tekken 8 as well.
Let's say that Clive is
adding to that problem.
But I'm saying that's why Clive fits, because they're already doing it. But I'm saying that's why Clive fits, though. Like, the whole...
Yeah, but what we think is bad in Tekken 8, we don't want this increased by tenfold.
But that's already the game.
What do you say for we? Some people, a lot of people agree.
When I say we, I am saying majority of the Tekken community.
Other players don't mind.
This is really true. The majority of the Tekken community doesn't like this.
Yeah, it's true.
When I say we, then I mean the majority
doesn't like it. But it's because it's overwhelming, and I'm the first one to agree on that. It's overwhelming. That's why.
Yeah, so I don't think you just continuously keep adding shit to something. I think I've pointed out that there is shit in the game. Now they've added more shit on top of it. My problem is that I'm not of the mindset that they can't fix Tekken 8. Well, I say fix. I don't know if the majority of the player base likes this or not. I'm just speaking for like us guys sitting here. But I'm not of the mindset that you can't send this game down another direction. A lot of people are saying, well, they've done it now. Let's just keep pushing it further. I don't think that's a good talking point, personally.
But Mike, listen, real quick. Don't you think this is kind of good for the 3D fighting genre as a whole? Because now, like back in the day, the argument was there's a lot of overlap between Virtual Fighter and Tekken, right? Apart from the Mishimas, people they're very, very similar, right? In terms of their aesthetics, right? Now there's a clear distinction in terms of the way that they're both heading as franchises, right? So don't you think this sort of variety is good for the 3D fighting genre? Because if Tekken wasn't so crazy anime right now, Virtual Fighter releasing with the whole premise of with a grounded martial arts guy, it wouldn't stand out as much. You get what I'm saying? I think it's good for the genre.
I don't know. We're gonna see because we don't know. For everyone that keeps on saying the character's not out yet, we know he's not out yet. The point of this live stream is speculation. We're speculating on what's gonna happen with the game
maybe in
based
the
on what
end
we've seen.
we're all wrong in the end.
Yeah, we could
Wait,
be.
he's not out yet?
Everyone could be wrong. So everyone that keeps on saying he's not out yet, newsflash, we are all aware. We know he's not out
I
yet.
thought
It's
he's
just
out today.
speculation.
Isn't he out today? Isn't he out
I think
today?
he's out tomorrow for UK
Yeah,
guys.
but that's why people bashing one
Oh.
argument or the other are wrong both ways. For example, in my case, I don't know. I don't agree with a lot of opinions, but of course, I'm not gonna say you're wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. Of course,
Yeah.
we'll see.
All right, I wanna move on to Blackheart. Not Blackheart. Sorry, Moonsalt Slayer now because he's been waiting in the chat. Major, thanks for jumping on, bro. I really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Take care, man.
Hello,
Moonsalt, can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello.
Okay, so I was trying to figure out like what is the thing that you guys are upset about? It seems like you guys just simply don't like anime, and I think it's very interesting. Like you guys say like the majority of players, but I don't think the majority of players will agree with you guys that anime is like bad or should not be in Tekken. I think that you know,
That's not what I said.
What'd you say?
I didn't say that. We acknowledge that this sales wise, this might be good for Tekken. We're just talking about like we're speculating. I never said that this was necessarily a bad. I don't like it personally. I don't think it's. I think in the long run it might hurt Tekken, but I'm not speaking for the whole player base.
Okay. Well, yeah, I heard one person said like the majority of
I
players
said it.
don't
I
want
said.
That's
I
why
said. Let me repeat it. I said the majority of the player base doesn't like the
like,
fact that they put the gimmicks into the gameplay and that it's so strong that you can't exploit it. It's not anymore like Devil Jin flies and then does the laser. It's just embedded in the neutral. That's what I said. I'm
With
not
every
saying
character,
anime
with
is
every-
bad. The fact that you can combo
Well-
this insanely is very anime, and I like it.
Yeah, I like anime as well.
That is well implemented. It's about the implementation.
On that I agree.
Well, that's more so balancing than anything because it's like if like any attack can be pushed to a limit to where you have no options against it. I don't think like a move being flashy is the issue. It's the balancing of it. And I think like Tekken as a whole, like I think a lot of people who are upset about what Clive is doing, like they should have spoke up way sooner. I think the fact that we went through all of Tekken 7 and no one really like, well, people complain about Akuma and Geese Howard, but it's like, you know, Kunimitsu on release, no one really talked about her. And a lot of people, you know, like accepted her. I think Kunimitsu, you know, allowing that character in is what led us to get to Clive. If players like if you guys had this conversation about Kunimitsu and you know flashy anime, then maybe you could have changed the course. But I think there was so many characters who came before Clive, and I don't, you know, like people should have spoke up sooner. You know, is what
I
think.
seem to remember people not being happy with Kunimitsu though.
I personally didn't like Kunimitsu because she was broken, not because she was anime. She was broken with anime stuff. I didn't mind her anime stuff.
Yeah,
because she
that's
was
the
just
issue.
broken.
We don't want the broken anime stuff, but when
on that I agree personally.
When they show Clive's move list, our problem is not the visuality of it. Our problem is that the character uses gimmicks and flies in the neutral and shoots from range 5 projectiles at you, and we don't like to fight against something like this. And this is what the people don't like about Tekken 8 times 10.
Medusa, I think most of people, at least from what I've said, then I'll make someone else talk. That's why I made all the points before. It's because they didn't like Clyde visually because oh my god, this is not Tekken because he shoots a wolf. What? All of this shit. Not because it was overwhelming in gameplay wise, because we can't tell yet because we don't know if that thing you just said it's overwhelming in terms of gameplay. Maybe its fight stand sucks. Maybe.
Well, I've got Animal Supreme in here, aka Cobra Commander. He's probably the oldest Tekken player here.
Yo.
Can you hear us?
I can hear you good, man.
All right, cool, bro. Do you want to add your 2 cents to this? Because I know you're probably the oldest Tekken player here. I know you've been in the scene for some time.
Yeah, how's it
going?
You're making it seem like he's 100 years old. You're making.
No, he's not. But he's not 100. Cobra Commander was headed up Snake Pit. So for those of you guys that don't know about Snake Pit, it was like a big tournament. Was it weekly in the UK?
It was monthly. I used to run, a tournament. It was a 3-on-3 tournament usually, and it was called the Snake Pit. This was during the days of Tekken 5 and Tekken 6, and
Yeah.
Tekken Tag 2 as well.
Can I
Okay.
ask who you played? Can I ask?
Law and Lei.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
So, Martin, do you want to give them like your 2 cents on the whole topic? Because we spoke a bit earlier, but if you want to
yeah.
let
Do you
these
mean
guys know.
what? Do you mean it was never about martial arts?
Yeah.
Well, basically, I think that like I've been playing this from Tekken 1 a very long time. Like I used to like I remember when the game was called Rave War. So I was like I always say Tekken was the martial arts movie that my generation and the generation before me always wanted to see or like control. It had all the iconic characters: Bruce Lee, Chuck Norris, Jackie Chan, you name it, Cynthia Rothrock, all these people. So I understand that Tekken has always had its gimmicks. So it was like you said before, it was a martial arts based game with hints of anime in there, but the anime part was always very minor. Like things like Godfist and all that stuff. That was the effect that it had on you when it hit you was just to accentuate how powerful the Mishimas were. Obviously, they're the protagonists and the antagonists of the game. So obviously, they're gonna exaggerate a couple of things. Even martial arts films do it. You know what I mean? So I think now Tekken has gone in a direction, and I don't have anything against anime. Let me just start by saying that. And if it's going in the direction of anime, then I know it's really not for people like me anymore. Like Tekken, to me, aesthetically as well, to a certain point, is not the game that I recognize at all. Like even the characters, some of the additions of the characters just baffle me. Like, you got guys like Noctis and Tekken 7 and I said it.
No, I don't. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, and now you've got Clive, who's basically just another Noctis. He's Noctis 2.0, with like slightly different moves. And I even had a problem with Geese. I even had a problem with Akuma. Not because I have a problem with the actual characters. They don't make sense in the world of Tekken. Tekken has a completely different rule set in terms of moves, movement, combos. Like Akuma, he's a footsie character. You don't have footsie characters in frigging Tekken, for Christ's sakes. Like, you're asking for it, Like, so basically, I think no. Like, Tekken had its rules. Tekken was always was arguably the most expressive game in terms of because it worked on limbs: left punch, right punch, left kick, right kick. That's the basics of a martial artist, right? Left punch, right punch, blah blah blah. So you had almost maximum control compared to other games of how you could express yourself in Tekken, and that was the part of the magic. I just think now with things like Tekken 8 especially, the game almost plays for you. I don't like Heat. I don't like Rage. I never liked Rage. Even in Tekken 6, I was like, what the F is this? What the hell is Rage? Who gets angry? Like you should be angry anyway. Like, you shouldn't be getting pissed off and turning to the Hulk when you're losing. Like it was just always a silly thing for me. But just to close my thingy here, Tekken was always heavily about martial arts. Even in the cutscene that I'm seeing right now with Kazuya punching Heihachi, that's a karate punch. Like, that's a karate punch. You know what I mean? It was always heavily based on martial arts. Yes, there were exaggerations. Yes, if Law flip kicks you, you're not gonna fly 10 feet in the air if you were to do that to somebody in real life. But these are all iconic moves. Flip kick is from End to the Dragon. You know what I mean? So all these things, they're all martial arts based. They're all dipped in some martial arts. And before we go to they had kangaroos and bears. Yeah, historically, real people have tried to fight bears. You can find footage of crazy Russians trying to fight bears in real life. You can find pictures and sometimes footage of Australians and British people trying to fight kangaroos. So
Damn.
historically, it's a thing. It may be
Oh,
crazy.
I know. Damn, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm not even lying. Look it up. It may be
No,
crazy.
he's telling the truth. You can find it
Yeah.
online.
You can find this stuff online, especially in the old days. You had people trying to box with kangaroos, with bears, you name it, with even gorillas, which is crazy. Like, it's a crazy idea. So as stupid as it is, it wasn't to the point where you had people teleporting in your face. All of a sudden, they're in your face like it's Dragon Ball friggin' Z, and they vibrate in your face like the friggin' Reverse Flash. Yeah, Victor, I'm talking to you. You shitty character. He vibrates.
Don't worry, man. I play all the bullshit characters.
Like,
Don't worry.
guys, I don't even know what
Don't
that
worry.
word means. All I know is that he's vibrating in your face, and you get scared of him because, like, what's he doing? Like, and I heard you guys discussing Raven, right? Just quickly, Raven. I understand that Raven is he's a perplexing character, but Hollow knows this. Hollow's seen enough ninja films to know how ridiculously OP ninjas are. Like, ninjas are all you need to look, guys. Look up a film called 5 Element Ninjas. Right? It's an old film
I've
by
seen
the
that.
Shaw Brothers. Yeah. So Hollow knows how ridiculous ninjas are. You have the wood ones, you have the fire-based ones, you have the water-based ones that can backdash. They do the Korean backdash in the water. It's stupid.com, but it's so savage. So
By the way,
ninjas-
but you complain about teleporting, but what didn't Raven do in Tekken 5
No,
sometimes?
No. Listen, I understand. I'm saying, I understand that Raven is a perplexing character, but ninjas, that's how they are. They're meant to be masters of fusion. But even with Raven, he still has those grounded moves where you could make sense of it. To me, personally, this is just me. Maybe it's just the way that my brain works. Maybe I'm too old a school to understand that Tekken is moving in a direction where teleporting is now just commonplace. But I'm sorry. Like, I can't have this guy moving like the Reverse Flash, Eobard frigging Thorn in your face. Like, it's too much. The game, like, it's too much. He's shooting at you and then he teleports in your face with that big ass samurai sword. Nah, man, it's too much.
No, I get that.
Yeah. So that's just my own take on it for now. Like, I don't think there are some characters that I think that basically have their own rules in Tekken. Like, I'm not saying that, look, when Xiao Yu came out, she was a thief character, but you could still make sense of her. She wasn't she wasn't a supernatural character. That's what I mean. When you have guys like Victor, like Akuma, you're talking about supernatural characters. Even Devil Jin, right? Devil Jin is a boss. He's a boss character. You've had boss characters since Tekken 1, right? But they really started becoming boss characters since Tekken 2. Devil, blah 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 blah. But they still play by the rules of Tekken. Tekken, whether people like it or not, they have rules. The game has rules. It's always had rules, and that is down to the mechanic and how the characters play. And if you veer too much away from how it plays, it becomes unrecognizable to me, and it becomes confusing as to what the game wants to be and who it wants to appeal to. I always say, if you try to appeal to everybody, you end up appealing to no one. And I think this is what Tekken 8 is experiencing.
Fair point. That's true.
Martin, could you just answer? So this has come in here, and people always say this, and I always find this to be one of the silliest talking points about Yoshimitsu's sword and Yoshimitsu's inclusion in the game. You've been playing Tekken since Tekken 1. You've seen how Yoshimitsu has changed over time. I would say that Tekken 8 is really the biggest. They've gone more in the Soul Calibur route with Yoshimitsu, but up until this point, he seemed a lot more tame to me. What is your take on Yoshimitsu and people keep on using him as a talking point?
Okay, so I understand what they're trying to say, because Yoshimitsu has a sword and he's a bit of an eccentric ninja, isn't he? He's like the eccentric space ninja. And granted, he's been getting weirder and weirder with each game. But even with Yoshimitsu plays by the rules. Yoshimitsu, yes, he's always had clone moves where if you do the sidestep in the old games, there's a clone of himself and he throws you to the ground and the clone picks him up and yada yada yada. I understand. And he's had teleports and everything. Yeah, but Yoshimitsu was the exception to the rule that kind of proves the rule. And Yoshimitsu didn't really break the game. Like, he was a hard character. He still is. He's a hard character to play. He's not easy. Like, I just feel with characters, and maybe I am wrong, correct me if I am wrong, right? But characters like Victor, if we want to compare like a blatant like sword character or Noctis, a lot of the time they played for you. Like, for instance, Noctis, isn't he the
I
same?
mean,
Isn't,
that's
wait,
an
hold on,
insult.
hold on.
I will not take.
Let me land.
That's an
Let me land the plane. Wait. Yeah. So listen. So isn't this the same character, Noctis, that when he threw the little knife thing at you, he teleported automatically, didn't he? He did, didn't he?
Yeah. If you do forward
yes,
two, I
yes,
think
he
he
did,
goes
yes.
This is exactly what I mean. At least if there was an input where he did something and blah blah blah, at least make the guy work for his wins. That character was a son of a bitch. Like, that character.
Yeah,
was
like
so,
2-2 and stuff. He's right, man.
Yeah, like, he throwing stuff at you, then he teleports at you.
It's
and
definitely
then you have to
easier.
get-
It's definitely easier to play Noctis than other characters, of course. It's
Yeah.
very
And
true.
let's not forget, Noctis was one of the easiest characters, and this has always been my biggest boggle of Tekken. Even with the Tekken Legacy characters, right? When you have Bob, even though I don't want to call him a legacy character because that's an insult to the legacy characters, right? But even with characters like Bob, if he's gonna be that good, at least make him hard to play. If he's gonna have all those moves and all that stuff and all that range and all this thing of nullifying range, I've always been my biggest problem with Tekken is characters that just nullify range without any effort. When Mishimas used to wave dash, and remember, I'm talking about a time in Tekken 3, we're talking 97, right? End of 96, 97, when we discovered wave dash. Wave dash was not discovered by the Japanese. We discovered
The
wave
discovery
dash.
of fire. It's almost like, it seems like the discovery
I'm
of
not joking.
of the wheel. It seems like.
There's an old school player called Amraj. He was a Pakistani player who used to play with us in Namco Wonder Park. Wonder Park. We're talking the golden years, right? We had the test version of Tekken 3 when Gunjack could actually shoot you. This is how far back this shit is going, right?
Wow.
Amraj
Who was the first one to do down for 2 electric? Who was the first one to do down for 2 electric?
2 electric. It was Amraj and Ryan Hart.
Wow.
It was Amraj and Ryan Hart. Yeah, us, Ryan Hart. We discovered wave dash. We
We're having a lesson of Tekken history. It's so interesting.
I'm not joking. If you want, ask them.
No, he's telling the truth. I was a kid.
No. But I'm interested. I'm actually interested.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Like so, and this is the time of there was no Google, there was no YouTube tutorials, there was no Japanese people there or no Korean players to tell us how to play Tekken. All this was discovery by itself. Like this was it.
Thank you, man.
No, it's all right. I'm just saying that this is the school that we are coming from. So when
that's very interesting. That's very interesting to hear an opinion from someone who comes from this kind of school. It's very interesting, of course.
Yeah. So so the point that I'm trying to make is, I don't mind change, but like I said, if you ask most of us from my generation and the generation before, Tekken is unrecognizable. I'm not saying that
they are not playing Tekken 8. Most of them, you say.
Most of them, apart from maybe Starscream, I know he dabbles in it, but he
Starscream,
yeah, Starscream. Like, you're talking, these are all my peers, all of them. Starscream, Ryan, or even players that you'll never know about. JRX, Ben Mishima, all these people, Saki, all these people we were playing, and Tekken got to a point, I think, for us where it almost became unrecognizable. And guys, trust me, as you get older and you get a wifey or you get family and you get kids, you have no time to play Tekken anymore. Once kids come into the mix, you play when you can. Now you play when you want to. Now I play when I can. And I'm not going to invest my time, my very limited time, in a game where I feel that the game just plays for you. I'm not going to invest my time in a game where I think that a lot of the characters, they wasted a lot of time. Where's Bruce? Where's my beloved Bruce? I like Bruce. I can show you footage of me playing Bruce versus Tishumon in Tekken 5. Where's Bruce? I like Bruce. Bruce did a lot for me.
So are you
Bruce
playing
saved
another fighting
lives.
game to substitute Tekken, or
Bro, I'm playing Streets of Rage 4. That's my game, and I'm sticking to it. You know why? Because it's simple, and it's to the and it reminds me of a time when things were simple and they were effective. I think the more that they contrived Tekken, I think right now it's a very contrived game, and that's what and it confuses me. And I don't think I'm alone here. It's confusing the hardcore base that were there with it, and it's confusing the casual base, because the casual base come in thinking, well, this is Tekken, anime characters flying all over the place, juggles that last for 30 years, blah blah blah. It confuses us. It's a confusing thing. It's a confusing. Even didn't Fighting GM just bring out a video where he said, "This is real Tekken. We're watching real Tekken, and this is Tekken 6." So to me, by even those standards, Tekken 6 is new school to me. That's how far back I'm actually going. Tekken 6 to me is still new, because I remember when I was playing a Tekken 6. There's footage of me playing a Tekken 6. So
did you never try Tekken 8? You never tried Tekken 8?
No, to be fair, I tried the demo and I watch the videos when I can, and that's quite a lot. But I don't need to buy to purchase Tekken 8. I know people are gonna say, well, you know what, how do you know if you haven't tried it?
No, I mean the demo is kind of enough to have an opinion on the game. I think.
You know what I mean. And I've played Tekken enough. Like you can, like I've been playing Tekken for over 30 years, like 30 years at least. You know, so it's not. I don't need to have an intense crash course on Tekken 8 to know, because Tekken 8 is an easy game. It's not a hard game, is it? Like it's not. It's not a hard game compared to something like Tekken 3. Or like Tekken Tag.
Tekken 8, Tekken 8 compared to the previous Tekkens, of course.
Yeah, or like even Tekken 5, even Tekken 6. When you just go back and try playing Tekken 6 and then compare it to Tekken 8, and then you'll see exactly what I mean. You had to work for your wins. Me personally, I don't like easy wins. I need to be fulfilled. I'm a man who's always worked hard for what he's actually for what he actually wants. And Tekken, to us, it was life. It was a way of life. Tekken was a way of life. Because I'm coming from the arcade era where if you lost in front of everyone, fam. There were times when I would go to the arcade with 50 cents in like terms, or like 50 pence. I was like 15, 16, 17. I would only have 50 pence and I would go in there. If you lose, you have to sit your ass there and watch and be pissed off that somebody took you off that machine, and you have to sit there or you have to go home. Like that was it. So yeah, I'm just talking too much. So anyway, guys, man, carry on.
Martin, I want to ask Moonsocks, because you were talking about Yoshimitsu, and he's a Yoshimitsu main. I don't know how far back you are Yoshimitsu main, but was there anything that you disagreed with regards to what Martin said about like the evolution of Yoshimitsu?
Hello.
For me,
okay.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, it lagged a little bit, so I didn't know if the question was for me or not.
Yes,
it was for you, yeah.
Oh, okay. So I started playing Yoshi in first Tekken 6. I was like played a little bit, borrowed it from a cousin or whatnot. But when I really got my hands on it was like Tekken Tag Tournament 2. And I was never really good at the game, so I really like didn't learn like its full capabilities. But in Tekken 7, that's when I really like got good and like, shot up the ranks. And going from 7 to 8, I definitely could tell like a big difference between Yoshimitsu and in 7 and 8. And I don't really like Tekken 8 Yoshi because he's too effective. And it's not really because of balance. It's more so that like everything just works. Like I know why the developers are doing it. The developers they set like new players they don't really want to try, and they really don't want to like put in the effort. So they make everything in the game very easy, very streamlined. And Yoshimitsu being like such a complex character with like the most moves in the game, you can feel it a lot. Like they do a lot of like changing back and forth between no sword stance and sword stance. They do it all for you. And I think the whole idea of taking away his healing through stances and making it healing through attacking. That was something that they probably did to like simplify the guy and make him easier. But I think that hurt him a lot, because what I think they are missing is that, you know, when you try to heal through stances, it's kind of this game that can be played where you are like, you know, basically giving up your attacking and you're trying to like regain life, and the opponent can, you know, time it right and get in there and hit you. But when they, you know, make his attacking through like these super like streamlined like heat attacks and, you know, flash back 2-2 or forward 1+2 mix ups at the wall, like all of that stuff, and his chip damage is super, the life he gains off like hitting people is like super high. So I think like all of that stuff that they did in Tekken 8 is it's basically just bad. And I think, you know, playing Tekken 8 Yoshi gets boring after a while because everything is just too easy, it's just too effective. And what I also think is like, I think Heat kind of funnels everyone into playing the same. Yoshimitsu is a character who played very differently. Like every Yoshi kind of plays differently. And I think there's other characters who play like that as well. But I think that you know, Yoshimitsu, you know, being funneled into Heat, you lose a lot of his like, you know, style. And I think that the developers are trying to like, you know, streamline this game and make it, you know, super easy. But they're like, so I kind of get what you guys were saying about like the gimmick moves being too effective, because I do think like, you know, the gimmick moves is what destroys like a lot of you know, it's like flashy. That's what gets the new players in. But you know, once you're in and you get good at the game, I feel like you'll end up hating like Victor's gun and like, you know, heat smashes, and it just it kind of becomes a slugfest between throwing out these big attacks and not necessarily you know, like fighting like footsies, like, you know, because what I liked about Tekken is that yes, the combos were really cool, but I liked like standing face to face and like, you know, just throwing out like moves and trying to like chip your opponent down. But I feel like Tekken 8, it's all about who can confuse whoever first with some busted mix-up, do a combo that's insane, and then do another busted mix-up, and it's over. And I think like that's just not a good way to design the game. Even if, you know, casuals will like that, I think that, you know, it's just nothing there like deeper. And I think Yoshimitsu is a perfect example, like excluding balance, like he could be a weak character. I just think like the way he was complex, the way he took effort versus now where you just do like heat activations, and you just do like, you know, weird like he always had the unblockable setups, but in this game it's so much more like effective, and it's so much more like flash back to 2, and then you throw an unblockable, and an opponent is considering so many different options you could throw out. So the unblockable is like so free. And me personally, I just don't like it. When I play Tekken 8, I don't feel satisfied. I feel like, you know, the game is just babying everyone. And, you know, it's just like, it'd be disappointing. It'd be disappointing.
Yes, exactly what he said. He said babying. You see what I mean? Now, I used to dabble with Yoshi since Tekken 1, to be fair. I dabbled in him in Tekken 1. I definitely played him a lot more in Tekken 2. That's when I really fell in love with Yoshi in Tekken 2. I didn't play him a lot in Tekken 3, but I know people who actually did. And what Moonslot said makes perfect sense. Yoshimitsu was a very unique character. You know what I mean? Even in the face of very unique characters in Tekken, Yoshi was one of those characters where it took a certain mind, it took a certain kind of person to think in a certain way to play Yoshi. And he's absolutely right. The things that used to make Yoshi really difficult to play, because like he said, all those things like sitting down and getting your life back with the chant and teleporting, he can all be knocked out of those things. So if you use them wrong, you will die. It was you
He was
getting
very
it right.
unorthodox, let's say.
Yeah,
He was
a very
unorthodox.
unorthodox, a very odd character. You know what I mean? So he's right. It was these things that you knew that Yoshi wasn't the strongest in the game, but you knew that if you were really good with Yoshi and you made him effective and you made him a problem, even in the face of characters like a Mishimas or whoever, or Paul, whoever, it meant something to you. It was an accomplishment in itself. You getting him to that level where he was a less desirable character to play because he was such a tactical character and such an odd character compared to other characters. That said a lot in itself. It meant something to you. Now,
Yeah,
as
the problem
you
is
said,
the problem is that
go on.
now he has a lot of bullshit compared to the fact he also gets a lot of reward for his bullshit.
Yes,
he always had a lot of bullshit in previous games, but the reward was not as big as it is now because now it's the combination of everything good. He has good gimmicks, good wall carry, good damage, good everything.
I wanted to let Mr. Nylon speak now. I mean, you guys can stay in here, but I know you've been waiting a bit. Did you have anything you wanted to add, Mr. Nylon?
Can you guys hear me first?
Yeah.
I am a casual. I'm a filthy casual. I've been playing Tekken since the first one. I want to address Clive. I hate Clive because he also comes from another series that is, I guess, you're having an identity crisis. The old Final Fantasy used to be turn-based, and the new one is basically Devil May Cry with magic. So my disappointment, I was disappointed when I was at work watching my phone and like, oh, Clive, shit. Well, there goes the hype.
You were not very. Let's say that you're not very hyped. Let's say.
No, I was not very hyped. I usually don't buy season passes, and I'm glad I don't. I'm kind of glad that Capcom actually shows this is a season pass. Here's everybody, so you don't have to guess. I get it that people like the hype. Oh, who's gonna be? Blah blah blah. But for me, I like how they do it. Here's season 2. I think it's Mai and Elena left. And when I fucking see Clive, I'm like, why is he in this game? His game. Sorry, go ahead.
Can I ask you what did you want instead of Clive? Just curiosity.
Personally, I wanted Baki or somebody from Street of Rage. I mean, I know the Street of Rage.
He's got taste.
Okay.
Why are you guys such a big fan of Baki? Like, he's Baki the grappler. And me personally, I think grabs is also something that's very obnoxious in this game. And
I don't know. I like his muscle.
Baki's a cool character, but I don't want another grappler in the game,
Well, Baki's more than a grappler. He's just that's what the first season of the anime is called. But Baki's like a world-renowned martial artist.
Or it could be his dad.
No grappler. Baki ain't no grappler.
Baki is the very muscular guy, right?
He's the
I've seen a lot of videos.
Booty slapper guy. Yeah. He slapped the kid. He slapped him. Yeah. He slapped the kid's ass, didn't he? And the kid went flying across the frigging river. Yeah.
And to be clear, when I say Baki, it could be anybody. It could be Pickle. It could be his dad, or somebody that throws hands. So why we have a guy with a sword? And I like Final Fantasy. I'm more of a Final Fantasy guy than Tekken, but I've been playing Tekken casually since 1. The only one I didn't actually play was 6 because of reasons. And I actually went to a tournament for Tekken 7. I was a Yoshi. Her name, the girl Yoshi.
Kunimitsu.
No. The hyper girl. Damn, I forgot her name. That's how casual
Lucky
I am.
Lucky Chloe.
No, Yoshi. Damn, I can't say the word. Josie.
Oh, Josie.
Josie.
Yeah, I went to the Defender North. Obviously, I went 0-2, but it was fun experience. Yeah. As far as Tekken's direction, I kind of hate the fact that I play. I guess I'm the rare casual that likes to play defensively because I guess the word on the street, casuals like to throw hands and go crazy, aggressive, whatever. What I like about Tekken was the sidestepping. It was very refreshing to know a character's weakness. Like Warang was weak to the left, so when you sidestep, it felt like, oh shit, I actually did something. And I'm sad to see that in Tekken 8, since everything a lot of things track, it kind of takes away my defensive play. I know go ahead.
The funny thing is that sidestepping is better in Tekken 8 than in Tekken 7, but now it's just that because of it, sidestep seems worse, but actually it's better than Tekken 7 in most cases. That's why it's even more fun. But yeah, I agree with you. A lot of times now things track way more, but it's because of all the heat push and all these things that are too much oppressive. I agree on that.
Yeah. As far as the anime thing, like obviously growing up, I had Virtual Fighter and Tekken, and obviously I picked Tekken because to me, Virtual Fighter, I call it the white. It's boring. This is like a plain white bread. It's just no sauce. Tekken had the sauce. It had
Yeah,
King.
Tekken had the sauce.
There is
Yeah,
no
it did, it did.
Nutella. There is no
It did.
Nutella. I don't know if you
Exactly.
like Nutella. Yeah. Okay.
So that's I always liked the sauce that Tekken had. Like it had King, it had Gong, it had fucking boxing kangaroo. I'm like, goddamn, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
So, but as always with everything, there is a thing that's taking it too far, and maybe not with Clive,
Yes.
who's throwing it fucking Magic over here, Noctis, and fucking. And I also hate Noctis, by the way, from both sides. I don't like him. I didn't like him in Tekken. I hated Final Fantasy 15. So
Good. You are a true Noctis hater. Good.
Like I said, it's like you have a character from a series that is also having an identity crisis into another Tekken who's having an identity
I
crisis.
mean, how can you hate Noctis? How? He's so
Look at
good.
him.
He's
Look
so
at that guy.
beautiful. Look at him. Orra, launching
yes.
protector.
Please,
How can you?
please don't.
How can you
The
hate
only
Noctis?
aura-
He's so.
Listen,
Yeah,
mate. The
but-
only aura I respect is the ninjas from World Heroes. The dude, yeah, aura.
Oh,
That's the
no,
original
no.
aura.
Noctis gang, strong. Noctis gang.
Well,
Mr.
like
Nylon, was there anything you wanted to add? Or, I'm gonna try and get more people in because I noticed there's a lot of people waiting. Not here, Mr. Nylon.
oh, I'm here. I'm still. I thought were people talking.
No. I was saying, is there anything you wanted to add? I'm trying to get as many people.
No. That's a basic. Like I just want to give a casual, I guess, point of view. Yeah, I hate Noctis and I hate.
Yeah, I hate Noctis. Yeah, I hate Noctis. Yeah, I hate Noctis. Yeah. Look at my profile picture. Save my profile picture. Save it.
Hey man,
Look
like,
at
his game was not complete when it came out. Like you couldn't even change party members when it first came out. You had to wait till the King edition. I'm like, oh, thank you.
Yeah,
I see.
That's true. All right, Mr. Nylon, thanks for joining the chat, bro.
Hey, thank you, man.
Noctis haters, man. Noctis. Imagine hating Noctis. Imagine.
Okay, let's see.
Thank God that the majority of people here like Noctis, right? Right, gang.
No, I think
you love
you're on
Noctis,
your own.
right?
I think Noctis was kind of cool. He wasn't. Cool, but I played a little bit of him. You know, so when Kunimitsu was announced, I played a little bit of Noctis just to because there was like some similarities there. But he was okay. He wasn't like.
Thank you,
know?
Moonsault. Thank you.
I think that I think a lot of these characters would be less annoying if they stopped giving them moves that can hit you from like halfway across the screen or like all the way across the screen. Like that is one of the main things that I get annoyed with.
Just sidestep, and he dies.
No, like even that, like because I always complain about Victor's gun and people say just sidestep and whatnot. But I just think that's not what I don't want to play that. I don't want to play a just sidestep Victor all day, every day. Like that's not Tekken to me. It's like some other weird game that I'm playing. I don't like it.
I'm trying to get Chad the Third in here, but I wonder how long the queue is for people to come in. I can't see how far back people are waiting.
I want other Noctis haters, hopefully.
Yeah, you guys keep talking while I'm trying to sort this out.
I want even more Clive and Noctis haters. I want everybody.
I don't hate
wonder
Clive.
You don't hate
Clive.
you don't hate Clive. Nice.
I don't hate him. I didn't know the guy.
Yeah,
you know what? Me neither. That's the funny thing. Me
Never
neither.
heard of him, man.
Huh?
Were you one of the people who wanted Tifa?
I never heard of him neither.
I don't
but
give a
it's
shit
just
about
cool.
Tifa
It's just
also,
cool,
man. I want Kiryu, I want Kengan, Ashura, Oma, Tokita, like
I don't
stuff
know.
like that.
I don't know who they are. I don't know. Yeah.
Those are all good picks.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Let me try to get two people.
I want
in here
Kratos. I want Kratos from God of War, please. Nice.
Hey, I made it.
Mel and Sly, if you guys want to give your 2 cents, I'm going to try and keep this to like 3 to 4 minutes each.
Sweet. Can I go first?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so I'm kind of like an OG here, not competitively, but I've been playing Tekken since Tekken 1. Like I was in Japan when Tekken 1 came out. I didn't know what it was actually about. I was just mashing buttons, having a good time. But it wasn't until maybe T4, T5, I started to play it in the arcades and like understand what it was. And then when T6 came, that's when I'm like, yo, let me dive into Tekken. And that's when we had Lars, Alyssa, like all the crazy shit started to kick in, the rage and all that. And I think ever since Tekken hit like the PS3, like that 7th generation, we've been getting closer and closer to this more. You guys ever seen the old Tekken anime where like Kazuya kicked the shit out of a dinosaur? Like,
that one, the very old
Motion
one.
picture.
yeah, the
No.
one before the Netflix anime. Like, when T6 came out, I felt like, yo, we're finally getting close to that depiction of Tekken. Like, the world is ridiculous. You know, like even in T8, like Hayachi literally headbutts an asteroid, gets his memory back, and remembers that he's evil. I'm like, come on, bro. Like, we crossed that line a long time ago. And
I mean,
think
I'm not gonna try to say you're wrong, but didn't it happen in Tekken 3 that Heihachi shoot at Jin and then he just transformed into devil and and flied away?
Exactly.
If we talk about I don't know, crazy stuff happening, I don't know.
Yeah, as
He
well as like the
fucking
whole
shot in the
ogre
face of Jin. And he
situation
went,
too. You know, like we got Ogre, we got Azazel, we got Nancy. Like,
yeah, yeah.
I think like Harada has like he's admitted it himself. He's never actually had like a solid vision for the story, which I think is cool from a dev point because Tekken itself was a systems demo. You know, it's like it wasn't about the characters. The first version of Tekken was just about the combat system, the limb system. And I think with the way that Clive is designed for this game, and I think Noctis may have been designed for this game as well, like, but it's got a more Clive feels like a more passionate entry and not just like a cash grab because for me, a Final Fantasy 16 fan, like I have like almost 200 hours in that game. Seeing the way that Ryota Suzuki, the guy that was the combat director for DMC5, as well as somebody that worked on Marvel vs. Capcom, I think having guest characters that have a fighting game philosophy, you know, like Clive was built with the fighting game philosophy. Like all his mechanics came from fighting games, even if it is DMC like his parry mechanic. Like, of course, you have the weird icon abilities, but I think that this system allowing more characters to fit in balance wise is a whole different situation. But I think fitting in more weird characters that have counterplay is better for the game because we've already left the earth. You know what I'm saying? Like martial arts is, yeah, everyone has martial arts, but at the same time, we're fighting androids. At the same time, we're fighting demons. We're fighting angels. Like, what's a little isekai character? You know what I'm saying? I don't think it hurts the game as long as we also further down the line get most of the original cast as well. Because when Clive comes out, I guarantee you, everyone that's complaining about, oh, he's gonna be OP, he's gonna like, bro, you're gonna block that hell sweep, you're gonna launch his ass up, you're gonna do your, you know what I'm saying, your 80-point combo, and it's gonna be back to regular. I think it's just there's so much controversy over the guest character when really this is all better for the game. And I think even from a story perspective, we've already let Akuma in. We're not convincing the devs to turn around and like reboot Tekken. Like they're not gonna pull a Mortal Kombat 1. Like they're running with this game. So I think it's better to embrace it because Clive was already established in the game before Final Fantasy came out. I think if we keep telling them what we want, season 3, season 4, I think we'll actually get Tifa along with like what everybody wants, Anna, Armor King, Bruce, like all these legacy characters. I think eventually, like Tekken 7 lasted for almost 10 years, right? Like damn near, right? Tekken 8 is going to be here past 2030. We're going to get hella characters in this game. I think Clive.
No, wait, you think it's going to last 20 years?
I think it's going to last. PS5 does. The PS6 is not going to. PS6, like this next generation, it's not going to come for a while. So,
like, no, for a while, yes, but 20 years, I don't think.
I mean, yeah, 20 years is a bit mad, bro.
Say 20 years.
I don't think he said that. He said 2030.
Yeah, like, you know, it's 2024. The game just came out. 6 years is nothing. Tekken 7 was here for like 7 or 8, and it was in arcades like 2 years before we got it in, or a year before we got it on console. So I'm like, yo, I trust the devs. The only thing is, I agree with you all on the whole. If you're playing Wild, you're not playing small Tekken. You don't know the mix-ups. You don't know the matchups. You will die in 2 interactions.
Mike, can you show the character this like where they show all the moves of Clive? They posted a video. I also reacted to that video.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
they
did a
got all these
Tekken
moves.
talk earlier too.
Like where he can jump and all this shit. Like the thing is, people don't understand somehow that
You want
we
me to play
don't
the Tekken?
necessarily.
Ah,
What?
2030. Sorry, I thought 20 years ago. Okay, I said okay. Sorry.
Medusa, do you want me to play the
2030. Okay.
Tekken talk?
No, not the Tekken talk. There was a video where they already showed all his moves and stuff. I reacted to it. The main man did.
I think that's the second character trailer, not the Game Award trailer, but the 4-minute trailer.
Yeah, like he can fly and stuff. I want you to just visualize one more time what this character can do, because I feel like we're talking past each other. We don't mind this character to be in the game. It's the way he is implemented. This is gonna be cancer,
Here
dog.
we go. Here we go.
I don't know if I'm necessarily afraid of Clive having the flying stance, because I trust that the devs this time.
Yeah, but it's gonna be useless. Don't worry. Don't worry.
I don't think it's gonna be that OP, because like Moonsault was saying, like he doesn't want to play a Victor where you have to sidestep. Yeah, also I play Leo. I just balk under all the duckable shit, and I get a free launch. So it's like, if you want to try that high risk, high reward stuff against me, it's on me to make sure I know the counterplay and punish your ass for it, to make sure that you don't even think about doing it against me, which is like, when we're playing in an online environment, the minute you shut down some shit, or the minute that you show somebody that you're not going to get away with this, it becomes a lot less of an issue. And if you do get hit by it and the counterplay, it's more of a that's on you versus anything else. And it's like, once again, we're in a game where Alyssa can shoot at you from neutral, Victor can shoot at you from neutral, Jun has a projectile that gives her life back. Like, we have Devil Jin that can fly halfway across the screen. It's like, the game is ridiculous. The game is just asking you at this point, please lab so that you don't get your ass whipped and the game goes by too fast.
No, the point is that a Devil Jin flying, it's not recommended in the neutral, because it actually has. My point, and of course, if
Devil
I'm
Jin
wrong,
is terrible at this
my
point,
point,
but-
if I'm wrong, I'm gonna apologize. Is that Clive flying is the same level of usefulness as Devil Jin flying. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, you can bash me. Of course, you're free to bash me. But I think it's just a scene, and it's not optimal outside of combos. But we'll see. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. We'll see.
All right, cool. I'm gonna get the next person on, Mel. That's all right.
All good. Yeah, thanks for letting me talk.
No worries, bro. Have a good one.
If Clive flying is a real deal and it's actually useful in the neutral, then it's bullshit. I agree.
Okay, so next person is Sly.
Hey.
Sly, you there?
sorry.
Yeah, hello? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
All right. Hey guys. Just wanted to say I am a casual. I've started Tekken since Tekken 3. I'm conflicted with the debate because I agree with most of the points with Clive. I think visually it's very cluttered. I don't like how all his moves just have these sparks and flames, all these effects. I don't like it. I do want to say, for the past few months, watching you guys, Mike and Moonsault, I am subscribed to you guys. I love, your videos. By the way, big fan.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
What was I gonna say? So I love Tekken 8, and I'm kind of disappointed that everybody doesn't like it. Again, I am a casual, but I want to say my favorite is Tekken 6 and Tag 2. I think I stopped playing Tekken 7 because I didn't like how it looked, and I didn't like the guest characters, because I don't like any characters with weapons, minus Yoshi, of course, because he's a legacy character. I think the main issue with Tekken 8 is that the pros, or the guys with channels, are being so negative, and not. I'm sorry, but like, they're being so negative, and I feel like it's very just about the heat. From what I'm seeing, I think the heat's the main issue. I don't think it's the characters. I think it's just everybody can do crazy damage. Everybody's like flying around. I do want to say my main are Hwarang and Lord and Raven. I don't know if that means anything or if it devalues my statement. But I don't think that Clive being in the game is an issue, as long as it makes more people want to play Tekken and buy, because we got to admit that Tekken is a big risk. They are starting it on a whole new engine from the ground up. So if it's not successful, I think this might be the last Tekken. I know Harada did say there's going to be a Tekken 9. He wants to make a Tekken 9. But, you never know with the guys up top if they want to, allow that or not. So that's my 2 cents on the whole thing.
Yeah.
All right, man. I appreciate your input. Did anyone have anything to say to that?
I mean, it's basically what I've said until now. So yeah, I think it's a fair point. We'll see again if this decision will, complement Tekken 8 in the future. We'll see. Maybe they made a wrong decision. We can agree on that. We can discuss on that. We'll see.
Yeah,
What I
we'll
think is
keep the
interesting-
conversations going.
What I think is interesting is that Tekken 8 is like kind of controversial, right? And they still have not hit 3 million sales yet. So I think that is very telling. And I wake up every day and I want to see that 3 million sales, and they have not hit it. And I wonder if it's everything that the players are saying about the game that's making it not something that people want to get into. And also, I wonder if Clive will change that.
Yeah, I do think it's interesting. They haven't put the sales up since they hit 2 million. Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
I do think that's
Street Fighter
interesting.
went from 3 million to 4 million around Evo. And so, that's kind of a time frame, right? And Tekken 8, we're like 5 months past Evo or something, and there's still no million sales. So I wonder, what's up with that?
Yeah. All right, cool. I'm gonna bring in Chad the Third now. Sly, thanks for joining, bro.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me.
Cheers, man.
Sup, guys? What up? What up? What up? All right. First, I'm gonna be quick. I've been listening to you guys for like over an hour. Y'all have been dropping wisdom. I love it. I'm gonna be efficient. I know my man, and I know Mike's got shit to do. So let me get to the point. First of all, huge fan of Mike. Huge fan of Medusa, Blackheart. Even though you're my arch nemesis, I love you. Moonsault Slayer. First time I'm actually commenting to you. I got a lot of love for you there, right? So that's the first thing. That's that. Next thing is, I think you guys have all, even though you had a lot of arguing, I think you actually agree on a lot more than you disagree on. And my short version is this: there are two issues that kind of converge. One is that every time you play a fighting game, you're looking for a certain type of problem, right? If you play Street Fighter, you like the Guile problem. He's talking about sonic booms. You gotta try to jump over them, but if you get the wrong angle, boom, you get flash kicked, right? You like the Zangief problem. He wants to make you guess. The only way to avoid the grab is to jump. If he goes up, if you're wrong, he can kill you, right? Every fighting game has a type of problem that the fans of that like trying to solve. And if you don't like trying to solve that problem, you don't play that game. Like, for example, I don't like zoning. Right? I hate zoning. It's a valid way of playing. I just don't like it, which is part of the reason why I don't like NRS games. Right? I stay away from it. I think the problem Tekken's having is that Tekken has kind of sold its player base on a type of problem, right? Like 3D problem solving, especially on defense. You very rarely have just a binary choice between mid or low. There's usually a sidestep option that could beat both of those, but if the opponent kind of clocks you when you're sidestepping, he can kick your ass, right? So 3-dimensional problem solving is kind of the problem. It's kind of the problem that we're used to solving. And a lot of Tekken 8 has been stripping that down to very 2D problem solving. You know what I mean? Just straight up mid-low. And a lot of people don't like that. Some people do like that. But a lot of the people who don't like that have typically come to Tekken because we don't like that. And so for that to chase us from 2D land to 3D land, we're kind of pissed, right? So that's a mechanical problem. Then you got the aesthetic problem, right? Like if you're playing 3D games have typically been more martial arts focused. Yes, there's a lot of fantasy bullshit, but I think y'all talk about like magic and martial arts as if they're completely separate. But like there's a lot of overlap. Like I was dating a girl back in Taiwan, and she was like, "Yeah, I don't really like fantasy. You're trying to get me to this D&D shit. That's the nerd stuff. I'm not doing it." And I was like, "What are you talking about? We literally watched this kung fu movie where the motherfucker was walking on water." And she's like, "Chad, that's not magic. That's qigong." And I'm like, "Bro, that's magic." Right? But my point is like the line is like it crosses over, right? Like and ninjutsu stuff. You were talking about Raven a second ago, and like D&D. Yo, Mike, we need to have a conversation.
I got a whole D&D book.
Yeah, I'm with you. But like, no, but they were talking about like the ninjutsu stuff. Like that kind of counts because it's like martial arts fantasy. You know what I'm saying? It's martial arts fantasy. So yeah, it's crazy ninja clone stuff, but it's in keeping. Clive and I actually like Noctis design wise, but like the problem is relax. relax, bro. Let me finish. But like the problem is he presents problems in Tekken 7 that weren't really Tekken problems. They weren't necessarily unfair, but they weren't the type of problems that a Tekken player wanted to solve, right? And then Clive is a similar problem. He's presenting like very non-Tekken problems on the mechanical level, and he doesn't fit on the aesthetic level. So he fucks on both counts. So a lot of the conversation is like going around, not going around in circles, because I've enjoyed listening to it, but you kind of keep touching on this thing of like, well, we had Yoshimitsu. It's like, okay, but he's like a samurai and he's kind of crept his way in there and he's like the exception, right? It's like, okay, but what about juggling? Like, okay, yeah, that's not really realistic, but it's not meant to be realistic. It's like a weird the dealing with the problems. Tekken players like dealing with the juggle problems, having to learn your combos. It's the kind of problem that we like having, right? So, long story short, I feel like Clive kind of betrays the Tekken fan base on a mechanical level because he presents problems that we don't like trying to solve in Tekken, and also on aesthetic level. And I think that's the real issue. So I know Blackheart made a good point about, well, we don't know it's broken, and which is true. I think that's a fair point. But I would put it to you that even if it's not broken, I don't know that I want to have to deal with it. Do you know what I mean? Like even if
good point.
Even if we introduce projectiles and projectiles are weak in the game, okay. But the point is, I play Tekken, so I don't want to deal with projectiles, point blank. So I think that's kind of my big issue. But Blackheart's right to be like, let's not assume it's overpowered. You know what I mean? But like, I think we already know enough to know, like, I don't want to have to deal with this flying shit, even if it's weak. That's not what I'm here for, bro.
It's fair.
That's how I feel about Victor.
Yeah, Victor, I'm with you. Yeah, Victor's the same. I think Victor's over-designed. In another game, he'd be cool. Not this one. You know, I like Kid Buu. From Dragon Ball Z, he's great. I don't want him in Tekken though. You know what I mean? Like that's just not.
I think you've put it probably the best way that I've heard so far, because I don't think you worded it the way I wanted to say it. Like I don't want to deal with that shit. It's not that I can't deal with it or that we don't know how to fight Victor. I just don't want to deal with it. I think that's probably the best way to put it.
That's it. But honestly, I'm really just reiterating, because like I said, I've been listening to you guys for the past hour, and I'm just saying what you guys have been saying, perhaps more succinctly, because you guys are all hitting on the nail on the head. So that's the reason I'm a big fan of you. Also, Sly, never heard of your ass, but what you said actually is really wise too. Like your concern about the company in general. Know what I mean? Like, hey, we need this game to be successful. Like, I don't like this version of Tekken, don't get twisted, but I'm also kind of worried about the negativity of the community. And we don't get me wrong, they've earned it. Like negativity is not misplaced, but like we don't want Tekken to die, right? Like what we want is a good version of this game. And I'm really nervous. And I too am a bit nervous that they've not sold 3 million. So yeah, I think all of us, especially as content creators, have a kind of, we maybe need to not necessarily, watch our words. Like we got to be honest. Like the people who like us because we tell the truth. But at the same time, I want to be wrong. You know what I mean? I want Clive to come out and be like, yep, this is a perfect Tekken character. He's balanced. It works in and it's all cool. The last point I'll make is I can see a universe where a version of Clive comes out who, instead of being this sort of Final Fantasy swordsman, he's like this blind Shaolin monk or whatever. And even though he's doing mystical shit, if they couched it as fucking, Yamcha, Dragon Ball magic, not Dragon Ball Z magic, Dragon Ball magic, Kaioken stuff, it would be in keeping, right? Because it's martial arts fantasy. But he's not. He breaks it aesthetically. He breaks it mechanically too. Again, not in terms of balance, in terms of what we're dealing with, and it's a shame. And I hope they sort that shit out. But that's it. Yeah. That's it. That's what I gotta say. I'm out.
Those are some really good points, man. I appreciate that. So you think if it was like a crouch and tag, a hidden dragon situation, people wouldn't be as mad?
I think so. I think there are mystical, fantastical elements that we can swallow as martial arts fans. Like Cobra Commander was in here earlier. That motherfucker was spitting facts. I was loving that shit. But like he brought up people like Cynthia Rothrock. He brought up like that era of like you have to remember that before MMA, there was a really novel concept of, I wonder who would win in a fight between a Taekwondo master and a ninja master, or a karate master and a Aikido master. The concept of mixing martial arts was novel. And there were a lot of movies that were kind of like hitting on that. There would be the Taekwondo guy versus fucking Steven Seagal repping fucking bullshit Hollywood Aikido, right? But that was the thing. And Tekken was kind of hitting on that the same way that, when we saw the trailer for, what was it, Ghost of Tsushima, and it was like, oh, this is a Kurosawa samurai film. They even did the trailer in black and white. They were aiming for an aesthetic, and that's the thing. And I think like Tekken was that sort of 80s, 90s, and early 2000s urban martial arts movie is what they were going for. And that genre has died, to be fair, in cinemas, and so they've moved away from it. And now we have Alyssa, Robot Girl. We have Lars with whatever that haircut is. Like we have all kinds of crazy shit, which again, in a vacuum could be amazing, but it's not what the Tekken fan base signed up for. Know what I mean? And like again, like I've been playing a lot of Virtua Fighter. Don't get me started on that game. I fucking love it. I've been shitting on that game for years. I've been like, look at this fucking old ass, dead ass, rubbish sound having ass, lame character design having ass. And I've been playing it for 3 days. I'm like, yo, I'm loving this shit because it's really getting into just martial arts, motherfuckers. Like I'm trying to punch Aoi, and she's like, no, I do Aikido, armbar, bang. And I'm like, oh, fuck, that makes sense. Like, it's like great martial arts stuff. And in some ways, it's less cool because it's less flashy, but it is hitting what I am looking for. Do you know what I mean? And I think one of you guys said it perfectly, where there's an identity crisis. Tekken doesn't know what it wants to be. What kind of fantasy are we? Are we Smash now, where it's just everyone versus everyone? Are we Fortnite now? You can go that. That's the way you can go, but you gotta let us know up front. Or are you still trying to be like, no, this is urban martial arts fantasy? Okay, then commit to that too. But we're missing a tone. And my last point, actually, to go into what Sly was saying, is that like this is probably a really good choice for sales. Like, because people in the fighting game community already know if they care about Tekken. You're either in or you're out. But this is for motherfuckers who don't really care about fighting games, but they played a Tekken. I played Tekken 3. I played Eddie and Mashed. You know what I mean? Like, this is probably a good move to push them over to 3 million sales. Like, we should not underestimate how powerful Akuma was to getting a lot of motherfuckers into Tekken. And Yoga talking about Backy the Grappler, with all due respect. No one. How many people who want to play Tekken would buy Tekken now and haven't already with Backy the Grappler in it? I don't know. It's not zero. But I imagine this is probably a better thing from a sales perspective than Backy the Grappler. You know what I mean? I do think that there's probably a choice that could strike the middle. Like, if they announced Yamcha, bro, I think that would have been perfect. Like, Yamcha's great. Like, Yamcha would have been great. They already have connections with Dragon Ball. That would have been perfect. His powers aren't too crazy. No fireballs required. Know what I mean? But I think there was definitely other choices that could have worked. But I get why they picked Clive. I don't like it, but I get it. So yeah.
I mean, when they do a marketing decision, it's not based on nothing. If they did this marketing decision, there was a point, probably. Maybe now we don't understand, but maybe the numbers are telling that what the people want, what we have now, because Tekken 8 is selling like crazy.
Yes.
So I don't know if that's a good decision or not, but it's repaying them, and Namco is still, it's still. A factory of people.
I'll be honest, I don't know if they want to advertise this Final Fantasy iteration to the Tekken community or vice versa, because this iteration didn't have that much success. Square Enix always also puts specific like rules on the character that they implement into Tekken. For example, Brian can't hit Noctis when he in the outro in the face, etc. And Tekken officially, you can check this, they lost 50 million on a rebranded Sweet Baby Inc. Company, and then made like Awakening 9 lost 50 million. So they have some issues regarding like money, like straight up.
Yeah, not for real. And also people talking about Tifa, like, yeah, I get it. Tifa's cool. She got the heavies. We like Tifa. It'd be great, but like, I can understand Square Enix being like, bro, like, we're not gonna let Brian Fury do that with animation on our baby girl. It's not happening, bro. Like, it's not happening. We're not letting Kazuya do his rage art and then he wins the round and he kicks my girl in the face. Like, companies are very protective of their brands, and rightfully so. And the more popular they are, the more pressure there are. I think people giving Harada like, why didn't he put Noctis Tifa in? Like, it was his choice. Like, he could just decide to pluck the character and put them in the game. I don't think you can do that. Again,
no, but also people are pretending like Tifa wouldn't be flashy just because she has a martial art.
Oh yeah, no, but again, I think
maybe she will be more. She will be more.
She could be. She could be. But I encourage you to think that, like, again, let's say she had all the same moves that Clive has, right? But you could still frame them in fucking, kung fu qigong aesthetics, and then a lot of the people who are complaining on the aesthetic level wouldn't care. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think there's a way to present it. I think so. That's why I'm saying that the two things get mixed up. Like, she would still be flashy, but there's a version of flashy that the Tekken community would buy. Is what I'm trying to say, and I think this isn't it, because this is fantasy. This is I summon fireballs. I'm friends with dragons. Fantasy, and people are like, no, I want qigong. I summon, I harness my positive chi, and then I shoot you. Oh, well, that's cool. but in a laser gun, that's whack, right? It's the same thing mechanically, right? But it's like you can present it differently, and I think it's frustrating on two different levels. But yeah, even though you're my arch enemy, Blackheart, I respect that your commitment to Noctis. I respect your love.
I'm not defending Clive because I'm biased. I'm also biased, but I think I've made my points. People can disagree. Most of people disagree, of course, because the general consensus in the Tekken community is that they don't like this addition, of course.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna like when I had to criticize the game, I did it. I'm the first one to criticize a lot.
No,
of
I know.
If there's actually something that I like, I will defend it. I'm not a shield. I'm not paid, unluckily. So if I like Clive, I'll defend Clive. With points, of course, that I made. But it's not like I despise a lot of things in the game. Don't think like I'm a shield for Tekken 8. Clive's addition, in my opinion, as I've said before already, doesn't destroy how anime this game is, because this game is all about anime.
Was already anime. I get you. I think you make a good point.
That's my main point. So of course people can disagree, but
no. I think your point is valid, and I also think that Mike's point and Medusa's point earlier on, which is like, okay, but it's one thing to have a game that's mostly martial arts fantasy and like 70% anime bullshit, but then if that 7% creeps up to 9%, then I'm going to get nervous. If it then creeps up to 10%, I'm going to get nervous. If it goes up to 15%, and I think the sense of like, okay, Victor Yoshimitsu, not a fan, but it's there. Kuma, okay, fine. Alyssa, okay, fine.
Xiaoyu, not a fan, but it's there, unfortunately.
Bro, Xiaoyu, that is real martial arts. Stop hating. No, I'm joking.
Real martial arts, yeah. We are crushing myths with IOP, real martial arts. 100%. We will have a discussion about Xiaoyu someday. We will have a
bro. Leave me alone, bro.
I have this on my stomach that I need to
just admit you don't like Chinese girls. Just tell the truth.
He made a video. He made a video on me when I talked about Xiaoyu. I need to smack his ass. Don't worry. We'll have this another time. Don't worry.
It's all love. No, but even the Xiaoyu hate, I understand. I think, but it's actually a really good point. Xiaoyu has always been mechanically busted, but she fits in aesthetically. Small Chinese girl who does annoying tricks. That is in keeping with martial arts lore, right? Like that makes aesthetically, and then mechanically she's a piece of shit. I get that, right? So my point is, if you're gonna make a DLC character, maybe break one of the rules, not both. Maybe that's the takeaway. But this motherfucker breaks away. But anyway, I said I'd be here for 5 minutes. I didn't want to take up too much time.
Chad, before you go, do you do these sort of talks on your channel?
Oh yeah. In fact, I'm about to stream in a bit later, but later on, look up Chad Third if you love my shit. And Mike, we need to talk about D&D because let's get in. I didn't know you were down like that.
I've got a friend group that's into it, so they've gotten me into it. I've got all the dice and the book. So.
All right, we'll worry about that later. But yeah, it's been a pleasure, everyone. Stay awesome. Yeah, cool.
All right, cool, bro. Take care, man.
He is the most fun. He's the funniest Xiaoyu player. The funniest one. The funniest one.
It's because I'm the only one with the brain. You know that. I'm out.
Oh my god, man.
We'll get
Ling Nation. Sorry, a little bit of a bomb to Ling Nation always. Okay.
All right, so we got Ada. Is it Ada Kada?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What do you want to say, bro?
A lot, man. A lot. Tekken 8, man. I really am not liking this game.
Try to keep it to like 3-4 minutes because there's a lot of people waiting.
Okay, understood. So I think particularly with Tekken 8, especially I'll say from Tekken 6 onwards, I could kind of see the direction changing in a way that I just was not sort of feeling. I'll say originally, for me, Tekken, when I used to play it back in the day from Tekken 1, I'll look at the game, I'll be like, yeah, this is not action, but this is a fighting game that is clearly based on action movie tropes. And not just action movie, but also pop culture references, also things a little bit of a hint of anime. But the main thing is that it's based on martial arts and action movie tropes. I feel like we've already tread on this, but I should, I have to stress. So, I'll give you, for example, Tekken 1 base 8 roster. So you've got Kazuya. He's clearly the standard karateka type of character. You've got Paul. He's clearly, the judoka, obviously based off Chuck Norris, which lends to the reason why he's friends with Law, who's basically Bruce Lee. You've got the fact that Paul's, original rival was Kuma, because everybody, I don't know if people are that old, but back in the day, you'll hear stuff like, "Oh, Chuck Norris is so strong, he can do this. Chuck Norris is so strong, he can do that." And I remember hearing things like, "Chuck Norris is so strong, he could punch a bear." Then you see Kuma's, the literal bear sort of thing. You got characters like Nina. Nina's, femme fatale. She does aikido. She does kopajutsu. You got Jack. He's clearly sort of like a reference to, like, let's say, I don't know,
Arnold
maybe in the
Schwarzenegger.
90s you might look at, or even the 80s, you might look at movies like Predator. You see Arnold Schwarzenegger in the jungle with his vest top and his trousers, what's it called, all that camo print, or maybe a reference even to like Terminator. These, even King, despite the fact that King's obvious presentation is based on Tiger Mask, his story is based on what, Fray Tormenta, that wrestling priest, that real guy in Mexico. He was an actual priest that used to wrestle for, make money for the orphanage and stuff. So there's a lot of clear like martial arts, but not just martial arts, just action movies in general. And I think that's where people are getting confused. They're conflating the fact that Tekken has a focus on on action movies in general as it just being martial arts based. And that's why you can have a game, with characters like Jack, and he fits in with characters like Law. But then you go to the future and you're seeing characters like freaking Elisa. And that's not to, say anything about Elisa, because I actually quite like the character. But her presentation is not fitting in with what we originally liked about Tekken.
At
The
all.
more the series progressed, once you got to about Tekken 5, I remember when Lily came out and people were throwing out a fit. Not because, Lily's pretty cool, but people were throwing out a fit because of her presentation. So on a visual level, Tekken isn't hitting it for a lot of us that, don't look at the idea of like a small, itty bitty girl and believes that she could launch someone like Marduk. So I think it started from then. But at the very least, Lily wasn't the most outrageous thing to happen in Tekken. I think is when you get past, from Tekken 6. Lars, I mean, say what you want. I'm of the opinion that his hair is so fucking stupid. It looks like a I'm not even
Stupid hair
joking. He
dot
looks like
com.
he's stuck. He looks like he stuck his fingers in a plug socket. And then you've got characters like Elisa. She looks like a dolly, but I could sort of let that go because her whole sort of presentation is about being an android. And I've heard about. I'm not gonna start talking about androids, but you get what I mean.
Very
So a lot of yeah, like a lot of these things, they're not entirely unbelievable to people who, when you understand that Tekken is just based on like action tropes, not
Exactly.
necessarily martial arts, but action tropes.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
that's why yeah, that's why it works. That's why you could get a character like Steve in Tekken 4, and then you get a character like Fang and Raven in Tekken 5, and Raven was basically like Blade.
Yeah,
He
Blade.
wasn't
He played, yeah.
based on Blade, but he freaking looks like Blade. I could buy that. It fits in with Tekken.
Yeah.
I always thought he looked like Cisco at first.
Nah, he did clearly the hair
He's
because I don't.
Wesley sorry. Raven is a cross between Blade and Simon Phoenix because he has the haircut. He has
Yeah,
the hair color of Simon Phoenix, but his demeanor and his image and
yeah.
obviously his aesthetic is straight up Blade. And then throwing a bit of ninja because Blade is a bit like a ninja, isn't he? He's that kind of
Yeah, he
character.
literally is. I think
Yeah.
it's even in his backstory that he practiced a bit of ninjutsu alongside other martial arts because he does
Yeah.
quite a variety, you
Yes.
know.
Yes.
But
So
these,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, these things were not so unbelievable to Tekken fans because we just appreciate the sort of
The
action trope
reference.
of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it doesn't have to be martial arts. It's just the fact that it's action based. It sort of fits in with the whole aesthetic. That's why Jack from Jack One. What's his fighting style? Brute force. What the
Yeah.
fuck even is that? But we didn't care. He fit
Yeah.
in. So
Yeah.
once the series, for me, Tekken 6 is where I was kind of worrying that my love for the series is gonna just wane, and I feel like Tekken 8 I'm at that point because people say what you want. If people like characters like Clive and whatnot, I'm absolutely thrilled for them. I'm glad that this is what they like and that it's Namco are finding maybe a brand new audience. But for me, that's like Tekken's going straight to the bargain bin type of material. I really
Mm-hmm.
don't like it, but
Mm-hmm.
I that's just my opinion.
Yeah,
But
because it doesn't fit like
it
even as you said, even if
yeah
you look at the stories of of like Tekken of old,
Yeah.
you know, the reason why I pick Law is not only because I'm a Bruce Lee fan. Like my favorite film of all time is Game of Death, the Bruce Lee script. You know,
Right.
the 20 minute. So when I saw
Yeah.
Law, I remember. Listen, I can even tell you guys a short story. When I was introduced to Tekken, and it was by accident. I was in Play to Win in Tottenham Court Road. I was watching Killer Instinct with my bigger brother. No lie,
Yeah.
the year was '94. I was watching Killer Instinct. Then this Spanish guy tapped me, and he was like, "Oh, my friend, I have to go because I have to go back home or like meet a date or something. Please take my go on Tekken." And I didn't know what
Yeah.
Tekken
Yeah.
was, and I saw this game, and I was playing Law, and I was just, and then he just showed me 4-3-4. He just said, "Tap these buttons here," and I was tapping
Nah,
these
for
buttons,
real.
and he was
But you
doing
see,
Shaolin spin kicks. But
that's nah
yeah,
for real.
yeah.
No, sorry, because I know I only got a short time, but I'm trying to condense it for everyone.
Oh yeah,
But
sorry,
you
sorry,
see,
bro. Go on.
for
Yeah.
me, like before being a fighting game, Tekken is first and foremost a game. So for me, the presentation, how it's looking, it's I'm really not feeling it. And then the gameplay aspect is where I'm really, really not feeling it. Because if you look at Tekken 1 through Tekken 2, 3, 4, everything that they added was innovative and actually added to three-dimensional fighting. So
Exactly.
Tekken
Thank you.
1, just the limb system, the idea that I can press a button, like you used to watch combos and you could guess what the moves were without even seeing the move list.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Tekken 2, what did they add? They added reversals, they added back throws. Tekken
Yes.
3, they added sidestep. They
They
made
added
movement
sidestep. Yes.
more intuitive. They reduced, the skyrocket jumps and whatnot.
Yes.
Tekken Tag was a bit of an experiment. It was fun, but Tekken 4, what did they add? Environments. They added walls. They added all of this.
Walls, breakable,
Tekken
break. Yeah.
Trust, exactly. Tekken 5, they kind of refined it and sort of consolidated everything and just made it a bit more neater.
Yes.
Then they added a few other things like the crush system, which I was a bit iffy of, but when you think about it, it works. If you duck, if you do attack that is, low on the ground or high up in the air, you should naturally miss certain things.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Exactly.
When you go
Yeah.
to freaking what, Tekken 6, okay, the stage stuff, is okay, whatever. It's adding a bit of interactivity with the environments, but the fucking rage system, that's the first inkling or that I got of meters creeping in.
Yeah.
Freaking rage
Yeah.
system, and then you got what, bounds. It doesn't add to the 3D environment, it just
It doesn't
convolutes
add
the
no.
gameplay.
Yes, it convolutes it. Yes,
You see what I'm
and
saying? And yeah,
and
and
it
then
makes things a bit excessive.
it's
Certain characters,
excessive,
yeah, certain
but
characters don't need that. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Yeah.
Not for real, but for me, the point that made me really not like Bound, it's not because combos ain't fun, they're hella fun, but it took away from the boots on the ground gameplay.
Yes. Yes.
That's what 3D is. I want to be moving around in my environment. I want to anticipate it and dodge. I want to play the game with intuition, not because I'm
Yes.
scared to get launched. It doesn't
Exactly.
make sense. And then
Exactly. I want to
tag
beat you. Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
Totally. Yeah.
Tag 2 was, it's tag 2, but it's whatever. Now,
Yeah.
Tekken 7, now imagine my blood pressure when I see Rage
Ugh.
and I see Rage Arts. And I was like,
And
I was
Rangers.
like, what is this Street Fighter Arts game?
Yeah.
But at the
Exactly.
very
Yeah.
but at the very least, I'll say by the time Tekken 7 reached the end of its lifespan, outside of the Rage Arts, which if you recall, just what last year, everybody still hated Rage Arts. But at
Yeah.
least the 3D gameplay was pretty solid. Sidestep had its issues, but everything else was like, okay, I'm a bit annoyed as well, but they did with throws, but it was okay. Now, fucking Tekken 8, oh my god, they added meters. What is this? What is heat? And you know
No,
what?
this is
Fine,
ridiculous.
if this is the system you're gonna add, I'm gonna try and get to grips with it. Maybe see it doesn't adapt the 3D formula, but at the very least, maybe it's a system that might be actually fun to use. I'll give it a shot. Why the fuck is it so broken? And why the hell is what's it called? I even forgot what I was gonna say because I'm so fucking furious right now. But the point, the point is like I don't feel like it added anything to Tekken that's worth You know, it's not evolving 3D like heat dashes and shit. You basically have two rage arts. I don't care what anybody says, because what the heat smash is basically a different type of rage art. The only difference is it doesn't stop the gameplay.
I would compare it more to
You
Rage
know?
Drive, if you agree.
Yeah, it's like Rage Drive, but even Rage Drive I think was better because it was, it was like very particular ways that you could use it, and it was basically a regular move that was just slightly OP.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
it wasn't regular, but at least it was locked in Rage. Like,
Yeah. So, and I'm not gonna lie, the fact that attacks were locked in behind systems really vexed me, but I thought I'll get behind it because for me, I'm the type of person where if I play a fighting game, give me my toolkit and let me run with it.
Give me my
Don't
toolkit. Exactly. These
Do
are
you
the
know what I
cards
mean?
I've been dealt.
Don't
Let me
limit
play
me
my
to
yeah.
oh, you can only do this if your health is low, or you can only do that because it just gives combat mechanic.
Yeah,
You know,
it really
but
does.
at the same time, it's like, oh my god, like I just want to be able to have the tools that I've got. Let me use it and let me be good at it, and let me be good because I know how to use it effectively. Don't
Exactly. This
don't
guy
give
is
me.
speaking my language.
It's
Yeah,
it's so
exactly.
it's so annoying, but it's annoying because I mean, if I see it from Tekken 6, and Tekken 6 drops like on consoles like what, 2009?
Yeah, 2009. Yeah.
It's been
Yeah.
like 15 years of just watching the series just deteriorate into something else.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Now
and what
imagine
I wouldn't. I'm personally not agree here with the term deteriorating. It's just
yeah. I
evolved.
don't mean
Let's say.
deteriorate in that it's
Because
Tekken is
deteriorating is
crap.
is in a negative state.
I
But
know, but I mean,
um,
with regards to what I
but it
wanted from a
is.
3D fighter, it's deteriorating for me
Yeah.
because I want a 3D fighting game that's about having your toolkit and being able to use it, being intuitive. Like, I mean,
Intuitive. Yeah.
even Dead or Alive at this point is more intuitive than Tekken because if I see a punch, I can sidestep that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Dead or Alive, even Dead or Alive, like, come on, that game wasn't taken
And we
seriously
used to
back in the
remember
day.
Dead or Alive to us was the joke. Was
It
the joke.
was.
Yeah.
It was the joke, but
There was
it's a
VF,
fun
there was
game.
Tekken. There was
Yeah,
VF, there was Tekken, and then there was Dead or Alive, which was like the kid that wanted to get in with the cool kids. You know what I
yeah.
mean? There was VF and there was Tekken. Those
There
were the
was.
two big dogs. And like Dead or Alive was the gimmicky game. That was the
Yeah,
gimmicky game. But Tekken,
yeah,
as you
yeah.
just said, it's a bad day at work when Tekken is looking more gimmicky than Dead or Alive. That's deep.
It's crazy when you
Yeah.
actually say it out loud, because
Yeah, it
Tekken
is.
8 is more gimmicky than DOA 6.
yeah, of
That's
course we agree that
insane.
Tekken it has some problems. Of course, we agree on that.
Yeah, yeah. But
It's undeniable. I
it
think.
is. But the point I'm trying to make is like, because even if you enjoy Tekken 8's gameplay, that's fine. But this is what, at least I mean when I say this ain't Tekken anymore. Because
It's a
it's
different game for
changed.
sure. Either you like it
Exactly.
or not. Like some people, some players
Yeah,
just accept it and adapt it to it. Other players maybe say, "No, I don't like this anymore," and they
yeah.
just drop it. Both
But
versions are
but
fine.
therein lies the problem for me. Therein lies the problem because I don't go to Burger King to eat KFC.
Exactly.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I don't
Exactly.
if
Yeah.
I don't do that. If I want KFC, I'm gonna go KFC. KFC is rubbish, by the way. But if I wanted KFC, I'd go there. If I want Burger King, I'm going to Burger King. If I want McDonald's, I'm going McDonald's. And I like them for different reasons. But don't change Burger King into KFC because then we don't have Burger King no more.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what
Exactly.
Tekken's doing. It's changing. I would much more appreciate if they made like a different game or a spin-off game or a
Exactly.
something. And I'll be like, oh, this
Exactly.
is cool. Let me invest in this because I'm investing in it for this reason.
For
Don't come
this
and
reason.
change
Yes.
what I already have into something else because that's not what I invested in.
Exactly.
I see.
Now you see what
Yeah.
I'm now just a quick just to piggyback on what he just said, the investment of time. Like I don't know how long you've been playing Tekken for, but I can tell you for me,
Yeah.
easily 30 years. Easily. And that's
Oh, longer
easily.
than me. I've been playing since I was 6. I'm like, what,
Guys,
31? But
Sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt you, but
yeah.
the patch notes are out for the last patch. By the way, if you're curious. On
Oh,
the
What?
We'll
Okay.
get to them in a little bit.
yeah.
Okay,
I'm
maybe
gonna
maybe
dip
we can
out. I
discuss
gotta
about these
go.
patch notes, maybe if you want, also. At this
Hey, I'm gonna
point,
dip out. I appreciate
Oh,
Mike having
snap.
me on.
Moonsault. I
Yeah,
just
what's up, bro?
realized first time you hear my voice.
the
Yeah.
update
Hey,
is out now. You can download the update now.
What I
All
will
right,
say about Ader Cater, he is one of the best like non-professional players that I've ever faced. Like when you talk about just like a normal player just out in the world playing Tekken, Ader Cater, like fighting against his Katarina in Tekken 7 was like so difficult. But then now bro kind of plays Jun Kazama, and it's like I can feel how the game is allowing me to beat him and like keep up with him. And it's players like that like make me realize how ridiculous the game is and how like when you couldn't touch someone in Tekken 7 and in Tekken 8 it's like there's a good chance of me just blowing you out of the water with like damage and mix-ups and heat. Yeah, it's a close match. So yeah, I just
mean,
wanted to say that,
don't sell
but I
yourself
have to
short,
go.
man, because you're good at Tekken as well. But I will say this, and you've actually reminded me, like the main thing, if Tekken 8 had all of its systems, and I'm just here being angry at the systems, I'll be like, fine. For me, it's the hard 50-50s that are really jarring me, because it's stopping me. It's effectively stopping you from playing Tekken. It's stopping you from playing. All you can do is, it is a guessing game, but it's like most situations, it's like I can't do anything. I just have to catch him out. And then it just turns into a situation where, the game is basically 50-50, but so are your odds of winning.
Yeah.
Everybody's odds of winning is based on a game of chance.
It's basically rock
It's
paper
fucking
scissors,
casino.
isn't it?
It
Yeah,
is,
it's
and
rock
that's
paper
why
scissors.
everyone's calling it a casino. And I'm just there like, even if you added all of these systems that I didn't like, I could work with it if this game wasn't just 50-50. Because what the fuck even is this? Am I winning because of skill, or am I just winning because I'm getting cheesed out? And then what even is the point of winning anymore? I don't want to play this game seriously. I'm just gonna play it as if it was, freaking Smash Bros.
Hey, I'm gonna dip
That's
out
it.
to make a video, but I appreciate you guys having me on to
I
give
cannot
some
find the
hot takes
patch
and
notes.
whatnot.
No worries, man. Hey, Blackheart, don't talk over people, man. This guy.
No, man, I'm
Moonsault was saying bye.
No, because it hit me when he mentioned Jun Kazama, Moonsault.
Okay,
I will blast you.
Let him say bye, bro.
Okay,
I feel like I've
thanks for
played
having me on.
Blackheart's June before. Blue completely destroyed
Yo,
me.
Moonsault, peace out, bro.
Yeah, peace out, peace out.
Yeah,
Don't
peace.
mind these
Take care,
guys.
Moon. Take care, Moon. But yeah, as my points without being too verbose, it's that Tekken is changing on the gameplay front, and it's also changing on a presentation front.
On a presentation front, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like if you're changing both gameplay and presentation, you're just changing the game.
You're
And
changing the game. Thank you.
that's okay.
Yes.
But I want to go back to a time where you play Tekken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Every version of the game you look at is slightly different. It's like, oh my good. Do you remember back in the day when Tekken 1 looked so different from Tekken 2, which looked so different from Tekken 3,
Hell yeah.
which looked so
Hell
different
yeah.
from Tekken 4, and then they looked
Yes.
so different from Tekken 5, and then Tekken 6 was carbon copy, and then Tekken Tag 2 was carbon copy.
Was a
Tekken
But it's
7
not necessarily bad, I think.
no, not carbon copy, but I mean like presentation, like visuals. Do you know what I mean? Because
Do you remember
back in the
how
day, the evolution of the game of the franchise as it went along, it's like everything was adapting. The art style, every era of Tekken felt like a brand new thing.
you
Now,
were excited. You were
yeah,
genuinely
I was
excited as
proper
to what was coming.
excited. Now everything feels like it's like they're creatively bankrupt and they're just trying to dress it up in something new to make it look brand new. But it's the same shit. The same shit,
And you know
I'm
what?
like,
Just to piggyback on what you just said, right? I was saying about the investment, right? And this is where I feel slightly jaded from this whole thing, right? Like I said, I've been playing since '94 on the arcade
Right.
'94, right?
Yeah.
And to this point, like I stopped playing Tekken. I just stopped. I just took a break in Tekken 7. I was just playing Tekken 7, and then one day I just stopped. Not because I was losing or anything. I just stopped. I just couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't make myself force myself to believe that, this game's all right, man. This game's gonna get better. Because I knew what was coming. No matter what character that I played, I'm gonna beat this guy up. He's gonna get to a certain point. Rage Drive is gonna come out. It might hit me. It depends. And then I have to start pulling back. I have to start going on the back foot by myself because I'm scared of this fucking comeback mechanic. That was not how Tekken was. You know what I mean? Remember when the game used to say great or like
Oh
perfect.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
those things meant something to you.
They
You know what I
did. They
mean?
did.
Great. You
Guys,
know
Yeah.
what? Great
I'm
needs
gonna
to make
bring
a
in
comeback. Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
bring
Sorry.
in a football breakdown just to because he's been waiting for quite some time, and then
All right.
after
Cool.
that,
Cool.
Judge
Cool.
Rat.
Okay.
They're already in
Okay.
here. You guys can stay in here, but I'm gonna give him the floor to say what he wants first.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Hey,
No worries.
can you guys hear me?
We
Yeah,
can
yeah.
hear you,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
Yep.
So thanks for letting me on. First of all, it's my first time on this. I've been playing Tekken casually. Like my first game I got was Tekken 4 and 5, but I was very casual, it was just for fun. Didn't really play against each other. I was just playing by myself. Didn't play Tekken 6 and 7 was really the first one I played online. And I think the thing that people like my perspective of Tekken was Tekken always had characters that had characters who had enhanced martial arts or like pseudo martial arts that weren't like real, but because of the game, they put it in the game. And so my first issue with Tekken, like the first character when I saw that was added to Tekken, I didn't even play the game, was characters like Alyssa. Like I keep hearing these arguments of like, oh, they already have Alyssa, we already have Akuma and all these characters. I don't think people love those characters when they're introduced in the first place at all because it started veering away from what the core fundamentals of Tekken were. Like it's okay to have one or two characters like Yoshi, where some of them are quirky. Even Yoshimitsu, even though he uses a sword, it was still like a goofy, like kind of zany character with a sword, but it was still relatively grounded. It wasn't as flashy. People who are trying to defend Clive and acting as if, oh, we were already going this way. First of all, I love Final Fantasy 16. Like it's one of my favorite action games. The story is kind of shit, the other characters or whatever, but as far as like gameplay and action focused mechanics, it's actually very deep. The further it's one of those games, the more you play it, the more rewarding it is in terms of what you can do on the screen. There's actually a shit ton of combos you can do with Clive. So that's why I was like really confused when they announced Clive, because Clive is like out of any Final Fantasy main character, he is broken. Like he has more powers than any main character Final Fantasy person you can name. But anyway, Clive to me is like it fits in Tekken 8 because Tekken 8's already busted. I think people forget. When they first introduced Tekken 8, I go by intent of the developers. Do you remember when you can do 2 runs? Do y'all remember that nonsense? Can you imagine if they left when you left Tekken 8?
He's talking about heat tokens.
The heat tokens when you can do 2 runs.
The 2 chains.
Bro, so the intent going to take it to Tekken 8 initially by the developers was to crank it from 2 to like 15 out of 10. Like they were already intending on making this a party game, because if it was left in its original state, this game would be even more of a mess than it is. That's
pretty clear. That's pretty clear.
I don't like a lot of stuff is about intent. I don't like heat. I never like rage. I never like getting to the end of a round, and now that the other person's in rage, now I gotta completely change my game plan or tiptoe because I don't want to get hit by a rage art that'll kill me and not reward me for me winning the round. It's just it was all those mechanics were just what I want. I actually liked 7 a lot. I didn't like what they did with Law in season 3, so I stopped playing it after a while. But it's like I actually felt rewarded playing ranked. I liked playing ranked. But I didn't like what they were, so I stopped playing it after season 2. But yeah, like some of the things they've done, and I could tell they started running out of ideas in terms of enhanced martial arts or people that were like had a exaggerated martial arts skill set of which you could do with your body when they introduced Lars, because Lars had like a dive kick. He had these weird pauses. He could go and then revert back, like backdash. And I could tell they started losing ideas on what they can do just on a human or just somewhat grounded level. Alyssa, I can't tell you how much I hate that character, because that character is just a wild chainsaw. It's like
who doesn't hate Alyssa? Who doesn't hate Alyssa?
Jumping off thing. I hated the Akuma thing, but the weird thing about seeing Clive is I hate it for Tekken, really hate it for Tekken. But what I do like it for is my pipe dream of having an anime or like fantasy game of the more complex non-arena fighter in a more complex 3D 3D action game like Tekken, but with all characters like Clive instead of like the grounded type. You know what I mean? Imagine if you had like a Naruto game instead of an arena fighter, but with the complexity of Tekken. That's the only reason I can like. If Tekken wants to go that way, then do make a game like that. Don't introduce these nonsense characters that like. I want to see Force. There's a whole character like even Ogre, right? People talk, oh, Ogre exists. Yeah, Ogre existed or Jinpachi existed, but only a few moves, a small percentage of the moves out of their move set were like these wild moves that Clive has on like that are probably make up like 30% of Clive's move list. Like I would rather see Jinpachi or even like a Forest Law or some of these other legacy characters that we don't see. And like honestly, what I hope for Tekken is that I would love if they removed heat completely and remove all these goofy mechanics and make movement more viable and faster and just like dashing up. Because people talk about Smash. The funny thing about Smash, I actually like Smash in the sense that they do a good job of, to me, there's a spectrum which you have to do with certain characters. Characters that hit harder, they have to move slower. Characters that hit who are really fast can hit fast but do less damage, right? Exactly. And the good thing about the good thing about Smash, right? The philosophy that they follow with fighting games, right, is that it's so large and the movement is there's so much freedom of movement that you can get around being super slow if your timing is great. Like I play with Ganondorf. Ganondorf is super slow, right? He's low tier. But if you time stuff right, you go in and out, you're able to move across the screen. You can hit people a few times and do damage. And I feel like they've missed the philosophy.
They just added these BS mechanics that
did it cut up?
Wow,
I think so.
The man hated so much Tekken 8 that Arada wanted to. Arada decided to censor him.
Can you hear me?
You know, yeah. Oh yeah, go on. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Don't
no. I was saying,
shit.
No. I just think they've missed the philosophy of actually refining. Like what they should have done was refine Tekken 7 instead of add on. Like they way overcooked Tekken 8. Way overcooked it, bro. Like even like for instance, right? Eddie doesn't even feel like the same character. He doesn't. Like when I watch Eddie play or play with Eddie, I'm like, bro, this is not like how Eddie. This is not how he feels. Like Eddie is just random now. He's just flip.
A lot of Eddie players didn't like the new Eddie design.
I'd argue it's undercooked.
Nah, bro, no.
It's undercooked, and I can bring receipts. It's undercooked.
That's fine. I'll welcome their opinion. Everyone has their opinion. My idea is that the whole heat system was a mistake. They should bring back legacy characters. Clive, I love Clive. Love Final Fantasy 16. He's not it, and people trying to act like Clive. Oh, it could, bro. He's nowhere. It's like saying, oh, we're already going this direction. That's like saying, you know what? We're in debt by $1,000. You know what? Let's be in debt by $1 million or 100K. Exactly. Like, bro, like just because we're going down a road doesn't mean we should keep going down a bad road. Like, let's reverse course, bro. It's not freaking.
No, but it doesn't mean the road is bad, though. It doesn't mean necessarily that the road is bad, though.
No, it's not. But it is bad. Bro, it is. Bro. In a game, Alyssa, bro, come on, bro. Okay. So when we start? So if we added Goku, you would have no problem with it, right?
You might as well add.
He wouldn't. Did you hear what he said? He said if Modok picked up a car in gameplay and threw it at him,
you can't just because then again, because now Tekken, if you keep adding characters like that, there's no foundational identity to a somewhat grounded, somewhat enhanced humans doing moves. Obviously, juggles are not real, but those juggles are just a vehicle so people can do combos, which is foundational in all fighting games. Of course, it's not real. Of course, you can't launch someone and keep them in the air with punches for 5 hits. But that's just a vehicle so combos can be made, which is in every fighting game. Clive having a Zantetsuken, a fireball, a fucking Giga Flare, like, bro. I love, bro. He has a Giga Flare, bro. That movie, the grab is the Giga Flare. I know it's a flashy grab, but it's a Giga Flare. Having all that shit in the game. It looks cool, but it is not Tekken. Like, make a game where you have Final Fantasy characters fighting each other with all that flashy shit, and I would buy it in a heartbeat.
You know what, bro?
This is not Tekken, bro.
You know what,
I
bro?
don't agree.
There was a game
I
like
already
that.
made my
You know
point.
what the game was called, bro? If you go
So-
back, then you'll know. It's called God Bless the Ring. Our guys, remember that game?
I honestly don't. I don't remember.
You know what?
But
Google or YouTube a game called God Bless the Ring. It had Tifa in it. It had God Hand in it. It had just download. Yeah. It was on.
But my whole thing is right.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, I wish though the thing that they needed to touch in Tekken to actually enhance the game, which would enhance it, was the movement. If they wanted to add some crazy movement mechanics, or ever give everyone an actual like a fast backdash or something, that a fast approach or something like that, that would be cool. That's a subtle change that would drastically change the approach of different characters with their skill set that they already have, right? Like, imagine you gave, I don't know, what's a slow character that's super slow, but like you could give them some movement buff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not some artificial, here's some button that'll give you plus frames, and now I just have to guess, and now it's a casino. No, augment it into a way so it fundamentally feels different. Like, I don't know, bro. Like, even like in Smash, right? There's a spot dodge where you can spot dodge, right? Or you can roll dodge, or you can be still. Like, there's so many mechanics that are just around the movement. There are not these, like, for instance, right? In Smash, Final Smash is something they added, but you can turn it off in the game. It's not something that you have to deal with on a core competitive status. We have to now deal with rage. We have to deal with rage arts at the end of a match or whatever, because, I'm winning a match. You know what my reward is for winning the match? Now I gotta play different and get hit by this goofy nonsense, and then it's gonna fucking avalanche because they get heat, and now there's some goofy heat stuff I have to deal with. Like, even the augmented heat stuff with Zhao Yu and Law. Like, I love Law. I hate the nunchucks. I hate them.
Yeah,
because
the
you only
as well.
because the
Thank
thing
you.
is the nunchucks. Because you know I hate it. You know I hate the nunchucks.
Someone so passionate about Tekken 8. I've never seen someone so.
I'm passionate about video games. The reason I hate the nunchucks is because even the way it's implemented is mad gimmicky. First of all, it's one move, and then you don't see anywhere else. It's like, bro, he uses nunchucks, and there's no other variation of how you use it. Hey, how about give my character a range 2 sweep instead of some BS nonsense, bro? Like, I'm just sick of it. Like, for instance, I'll give you some example why I hate some of the decisions. Why does Law's Dragon Tail not go under certain moves? He's on the fucking ground.
Yep.
Oh, no,
Sorry.
what? No, sorry. What again? What again? Sorry, I didn't understand.
I said, why does Dragon Tail get hit by like for a move that slow, right? Why does it get hit by Mitch? He's on the ground, and then you have shit like Elisa that doesn't make sense. Like, bro, it's just certain small things where I'm just like, bro, it doesn't
So basically, what you are saying is what we did dislike in Tekken 7 that got more, and what we liked about Tekken 7 got less.
Yes, like, bro, they just like, for instance, right? I don't like all the added devil stuff for Kazuya. I hate it. I hate all of like the extra nonsense, bro. Like, they should have refined the game. Like, bro, Tekken 5 was the perfect sequel to Tekken 4. It was Tekken 5 was one of my favorite games. It was such a refined game. It felt so good. The music, the stages, the tone, the character customization. The design. Even Tekken 6, people hate the balance system, but even that wasn't that bad, and it made sense. Bro, Tekken 8, Clive, it's madness. And Kunimitsu was the start of it. Alyssa was the start of it. And bro, and when you Lars should have, man. Anyway, I'll stop talking, bro.
Do you know what? Yeah, we had a tournament during the days of Tekken 6, right? This was during the promotion days of Tekken 6, and I had this book. They gave us this book for the top 5 players or whatever it was, and it had all the artwork and all the little backstories of the characters from Tekken 6. Do you know why Lars was added to the game? Now, they wrote this in in the book, so I don't know how true it is, but it was a Namco book. Apparently, the Swedish division of Namco complained that there was no Scandinavian characters in Tekken, so Namco made laws. I'm not joking. I swear. If I ever find that book again, then I'll show you guys. It had there were no Scandinavian characters.
It could have been
so they
worse.
made
It could have been
laws.
worse. The
Like,
fact is
for instance, why does Zafina have as like? I mean, it's a cool, but why does she have Azazel powers now? Why?
I don't get it.
They explain why. They explain
Why does Nina like Nina? When I saw the trailer and I saw Nina shooting guns, I'm like, I'm finished. I'm finished. She already is extremely hard and difficult to deal with, and now you gave her some goofy ass guns, bro. Enough.
Yeah.
I honestly think she's cool when she shoots, but okay. It's the only cool thing she does. The problem is that she does too much damage. She does too much
aesthetically.
damage.
What they should have done was kept exploring other ways to create like even pseudo. I know they're not realistic, but martial arts that are somewhat grounded. And someone brought a point about the chi, bro. Chi moves martial arts moves augmented by like magical chi is way less than what the shit they're showing with Clive is, bro. Bro, for his rage art, he's literally summoned a column of fire. What are we doing?
Bro, I'm sorry, but
guys, I'm gonna cut the conversation up. I'm gonna cut it up there. I need to bring in the next person.
I am sorry, but I will play him tomorrow. I'm sorry.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it.
That's all right.
Yo, what about the patch
That
notes?
was awesome.
We're gonna cover the patch notes one because we've got two more people and then we'll cover them.
All right.
The dude is the beyonder of like Tekken rats, man. Dude is too much.
All right, I'm gonna get Judge Wrecked in next. Judge, if you're there.
Yeah, sure. Is the mic working?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So I just checked out the patch notes for you, but it's not working. So it looks like the link is broken. Yeah, you cannot.
Okay.
It just sends you on a Japanese random Tekken page. So
maybe by the time we finish the talk, it'll be working.
Classic Namco there. So first of all, I want to say, good job on these discussions. I think that's a pretty good. It's getting wild sometimes. Listening for hours now, pretty cool. So, but I also don't want to just say the same stuff that other people already said. So we all know the balance issues, heat, and all that stuff. So. I just had a thought while I was listening about when people were talking about it was magic and flesh and all that stuff in the past, but not in gameplay, but with the cutscenes and the story stuff, yeah? And I kind of thought about something like, what if Namco was, I mean, we probably will never find out, but what if Namco always wanted to have the game more fantasy, flashy, stuff like that, but the tech was not there, so you can see it in the render cutscenes and all that, but gameplay was not ready yet. And now the game running on Unreal Engine 5 obviously is one of the most beautiful games out there, especially in the fighting game space. And I kind of felt that with all the spectacle when I was playing Virtua Fighter. Here, the beta is out now. And not that I didn't like it, but in the back of my head, I was like a little bit thinking to myself, like, where are the explosions? You know, it's as if we are so used to over-the-top action nowadays that... it's hard to go back, and games always have to get on another level. It has to get bigger. First, it's one helicopter exploding. Now we need two. Now we need three. And this is kind of the way where it's going. Yeah. And
Judge, just to expand on what you were saying there, I actually was sent over this article about the history of Tekken and the making of the original Tekken game and the philosophy behind it. If anybody wants to read this over, I'll send it to them. But basically, this article is written by Jeremy Momoda. And he worked on the original Tekken game, and this is basically them like going around the world and learning about the different martial arts. And the focus of Tekken was centered around this. And I think there's a couple articles were written like this where it was always centered about that. I haven't found yet where the tipping point was. I suspect it was something to do with Tekken 6, but I did have a bit of reading, and up till Tekken 5, they seemed to have this philosophy where they were following martial arts predominantly, and they would have anime in there as like the backdrop to like, you know, bringing casuals or spice it up a little bit or give the story an extra flair. So I do think there is some validity in that. There was a time when martial arts was their driving force.
Yeah, 100%, especially in the beginnings. Yeah, but somewhere down the line,
they just wanted to make more stuff explode on the screen, and that's for obvious reasons. I don't know. I mean, when people say like the Tekken community, I just want to break a lance for casual players. I have a lot of friends who just play casually. They don't play with me anymore because they always lose. Because once you just get a little bit better or learn something, then you have no friends to play anymore.
True.
So you look for online friends and communities and all that. But honestly, these people bought the game, and while they're not like playing 24/7 like someone who's serious, and they're not reading forums, patch notes, and all that stuff, they still kind of part of the community. And honestly, the game also needs these people. Otherwise, the sales numbers would be even worse. And I don't know, 2 million was the last point that we probably had. We don't know if it's more or it's going to get better. Clive would probably be a good jump start again for player numbers, a little bit higher probably. It's patch day, it's always like that. But I also think that I've talked to a couple of casual friends online and offline, also people I know in real life, and they saw this and they were hyped because these people, the way they play the game is they play any game. They play multiple fighting games, so they don't have the time taking care of children, coming home from work. They don't have the time to play 4 fighting games seriously, so they just want to sit down on the couch, press some buttons, and they want to see stuff exploding on the screen. Yeah. And
guys, can I say something real quick?
Yeah, sure.
It's off topic, but it's very important. Okay,
Yeah.
hear me
They
out.
are out.
Disconnecting during a match will now result in ranked point reduction in Tekken 8. Well, a round of applause. Finally,
No way, they actually did it.
After 10,000 years, finally.
No, you're lying. You're lying. I don't believe
when you rage quit on Tekken 8, you lose points. Finally,
I don't believe
Let's
you.
go.
I don't believe.
Let's
Send me the
go.
link. Send me the link so we can all see it.
I have to see this for myself, dude.
Oh my god, man. Oh my
And we're
god.
gonna check it out now.
A basic function. A
Please do
basic
it.
function in the game has finally been added. Finally.
I don't even think we should applaud them because that should have been something that should have.
Hey, I know.
It's kind of a sarcastic applaud. So
It was a sarcastic
Mine,
applaud.
I gotta be honest with you. That was the one change out of everything that I wanted the most. I know they should have done it from day one. I'll take it. I was so angry at them for allowing that to happen.
Yeah, at least they
I
did
get
it.
stuck 10 times a day on ranked. I swear to God, 10 times a day.
But you don't gain points. Only the one who quits loses points, right?
Yeah,
From
at
what I
least they get punished. There was no punishment.
Yeah, but
least
no,
they
no,
get
it's
punished
good, it's
for it
good,
now,
it's good.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. At
good,
least they
good,
get
good,
punished for it.
good.
For real.
if anyone having the link, patch notes seem not to work for me still, so I just want to read that stuff.
Yeah,
You
Black
know
Card, send it
what?
to me on Discord.
Just to touch on what Judge Rex.
It's on Tekken official Japan Tekken news.
All right,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Just to touch
It's,
quickly, if
official.
I may, on what Judge Rex said
Yeah, sure.
about how where the tipping point was, and Mike, good looking on like bringing that up because the team is not the same anymore. Let's not forget that the team that made the first games, the early Tekken games, they're not the same anymore. Didn't the team split up? I think the team split up, didn't they? So
Yeah, some people left.
yeah, so Harada kind of took over, didn't he? And just a quick story for you guys. I actually met Harada in 09 in this Tekken 6 tournament. This was when Tekken 6 was brand new to the consoles and it was being promoted, and Harada came to London. And this was the tournament where I came second, Dino came first, and Starscream came third, right?
I was
And
there. I remember that.
You were there, right?
I
Okay,
was there, yeah.
so what you didn't know is that me and Grey Fox, we went to Harada. We were like, no, let's go and grill him, right? And the first thing we asked him when he was with Michael Murray, this was when Harada couldn't speak any English, right? We asked him why Bob? We just started with, we led with why Bob? Why did you put this character in? And Harada said to us, because we were basically telling him this. We were telling him the same thing that I've been telling you guys now. Tekken was always the martial arts movie that we always wanted as you know, as kids and everything that we can now control. So it even did better. All the action stars, all the martial arts stars in one quote unquote game. You know what I mean? It was kind of a fan, like, and he said he understands, but he said he has to make money. He answers to the boardrooms, like he answers to the corporate boardrooms. He said if it was up to him, he would leave Tekken as hardcore as can be. But it's not just up to him, even though he's the lead a designer for the game and everything, he answers to others. Like, and this goes for other things. This goes for hip hop. This goes for anything. You know, that's where it starts out as, let's say, for a lack of better terms, an art form. And then as soon as money gets involved or it's doing well, you get other people who want to make as much money as possible. So therefore it's diluted. You know, it's this juice that's being and the better that Tekken does, and I hate to say it, the better that it does, and it's doing really well now, we're not gonna see the Tekken that we all kind of deep down wish to see again. Like, Tekken has always been a game where it has to either flop or not do as well to see what it can really do, or to go back to those roots and improve on it. And that's what kind of happened with Tekken 4 and Tekken 5. Tekken 4, in relative terms, flopped. It was a flop of a game, wasn't it? And that's why Tekken 5 was so good, because he got such a bollocking from Tekken 4. That's why, remember the first trailer for Tekken 5? People hated it. People were like, this looks rubbish, fam. This game is ass. And that's when the other Tekken 5 came out, because they listened to people. So if they're listening to people saying that, look, the future is lost, the future is Lucky Chloe, thank God that bitch is out of this game. Because to me, she was the biggest insult of them all. She was the biggest insult for me. But yeah, fine. If the future is Lucky Chloe, we're not gonna just hang on to your hats, guys, because I think it's gonna get worse. If there's another Tekken game, if there's Tekken 9 or Tekken Tag 3, expect it to be Tekken 8 on like steroids, you know. So yeah.
But it's always kind of the same cycle, yeah. So something new comes out, people are skeptical, people are always jumping the gun maybe a little bit too early, and then when the game's at the end of the cycle, they like it, and the next game comes out, and you're always like, the last one was better. So this year was very, very controversial, to say the least, for the game, but it also had high moments. I think I had a lot of fun playing the game, right? Ranked was disgusting, I think, but I started to play with friends and lobbies and all that stuff, and it was great. Yeah, good fun. So I think sometimes it depends also what you expect from the game, and maybe you need to let it cook a bit. And also about the spectacle, I took notes here. There was one thing that I also wanted to say is we will see how Clive will turn out. I see people on Twitter being like, he looks OP, and we don't know that. Yeah, so technically you can make a character with exactly the same hitbox and frames and statistics like Jin, for example, but he looks like Clive and throws fire and stuff. But on a technical level, the character is exactly the same. So people seeing Giga Flares and all that stuff, we still don't know how that works. So yeah, I think it's called Terra Flare. I'm not too. I only played Final Fantasy 14 online, but not 16. But I still know the guy. So.
And Pico Flare, it's even bigger. Pico Flare.
Ultra Flare.
Pico, that's the 1,000 terras is a Pico.
Oh God.
So
Pico Flare. Yeah.
I mean, you remember, for example, Lydia. It's a 4-4-3. It gets a special animation when you hit a juggling opponent. So this way you could make a Giga Flare animation basically, and it looks cool, but the properties of the move are not as crazy as it looks to be. Yeah. So. Looking forward how it plays out. I mean, it can't get worse than Victor, I guess. So he always looks similar with stuff.
Don't even get me started on that character. Bro.
He had like a low counter hit launch with down back 4 and teleporting around. So it looked quite similar, but we don't know the frames, we don't know the hitboxes. We have to play for ourselves.
Isn't Victor the same character where he had, like, isn't it while standing 2 and down forward 2, and he looked exactly the same, and one's punishable and one isn't? Isn't he had that uppercut, didn't he?
Yeah, while standing 2 is some kind of upward swing with the knife, and forward 2 where he shouts. Everyone always understands Shaheen when he shouts that. So yeah, that's kind of the same, but one has more range and both launch. So yeah.
All right,
I think
I'm gonna give the floor to hold on, Blackheart. I'm gonna give the floor to Free Dizzle. Now, if that's all right, Judge.
No, I was just saying that
No
I was
problem.
about to go now. I was about to go. So
all right, cool.
Yeah. Thank you,
All right,
everybody, for.
Blackheart. It's been a pleasure, man. It's been a
Yeah.
pleasure.
Take it easy, bro.
No, I want to thank Mike for having me in, but I'm gonna prepare for Clive now. Sorry, guys, but
Yeah, no problem, man. Do your thing. Do your thing.
yeah,
We're gonna go over the patch notes.
Clive gang, always fuck the haters,
Clive.
fuck the ones
Leave
who
this
don't want
friendship
Clive to get
easy.
in game. And cannot wait for tomorrow's Mike tournament. I'm gonna steal his money tomorrow. Hopefully, it's 100 euros.
There's a tournament tomorrow. What?
Yeah, he has 100 euros tournament.
Can I still
tomorrow.
participate? Or
Can we watch that on
Yeah.
stream?
I'll explain to everyone how the tournament works after we've got done.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
yeah.
Thank you, Clive gang.
Cheers, bro. Peace out, man.
Cheers, dude.
Okay, free Dizzle, get you in, and then we'll do the patch notes.
Hey, what up, y'all?
How's it going, bro? You all
Yeah,
right?
man. I feel alone because I'm old, man. I'm 42. I've been with Tekken since Tekken been Tekken. I keep telling people that, and I like Tekken 8. I've liked pretty much every Tekken game. My favorite one's Tekken 4, and people hate that one. And I just I like the crazy shit, man. I like new mechanics. It creates new strategies. It's more to learn. And to me, that's what Tekken is you don't play Tekken to win. You play Tekken to learn Tekken. And you learn Tekken by losing, and eventually you'll win. And you're never going to win every single game anyway. So it's like that is the essence of Tekken, is learning Tekken. That's it. You just learn it. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. You play the game and you learn it. You learn new things. You learn how to do stuff. That's what it is for me.
Bro.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's right. I mean, some people they're super focused on winning, and I always tell people that will come as you learn the game. That just comes naturally, if you learn that game, you will win. That's just the way it is. But and I told people that it's early. This game is undercooked. Tekken 7 was released. I looked it up. Arcades, February 2015. Came out consoles, June 2017. That's over 2 years in the arcade. 2 years in the arcade. They had to refine that. And then it even still struggled when it came out on consoles. It didn't blow up right away. It took a while for it to hit stride, even when it went to consoles. So it's people got to understand that shit. It's going to take time. They cannot do this shit overnight. It's not possible. And as with where the direction's going with Tekken, it seems like they've gotten what I call the boss character syndrome. And people even call it with hey, Hachi's fucking, Ultra Instinct. It's just people realize it with certain characters, but then other people realize every character has boss character syndrome. They all have that boss character mode they can go into. And I think that's what Bamco was looking to do, was give everybody that super powered boss character feeling, which might be good or bad in the long run. We'll see about that one. You know what I mean? But overall, there's still the regular character archetypes. Certain characters have orbitals. Some look a little bit different than others, but it's still the same functional move. They all have these mid keep out moves and strings that are tricky, and you can delay certain hits and stuff. All that stuff is pretty much vanilla across the board. They just add variety by making them look different and have a little bit different properties here and there and stuff like that. But I think where people really don't realize where Tekken 8 has changed the most is they borrowed shit from Street Fighter with the hit stun. And the guard breaks had already been there for a while, but this hit stun stuff has bled in more and more. And most legacy Tekken characters are used to getting guaranteed damage or hits, if the character's juggling or grounded or something like that. But now it's oh, I can hit you and you're stunned so much from that, you can't do anything about this next hit that's coming at you. That feels cheap, to most people. They just feel they got I was blocking there. Why didn't I block that? Oh, you were hit stunned and so minus their next move was guaranteed. It's like that is new to Tekken. That just didn't really exist in the past. So it's all those things kind of added together that is really confusing people on. They can't really zero in on what don't I like about this, or just something that I don't like, but I can't really tell you what exactly it is. It's because it's a combination of all those things.
But do you think that the combination works?
That's the, like I said, only time will tell with that one. But I've always thought, I've always been excited to see what new things they bring to the game, because that gives me more drive and a new challenge to learn something new. Because shit, it's even more important now that I'm fucking getting old, is that, yeah, you gotta stay active, like keep that brain working, like learn new shit, like stay on top of it. Like I'm like, bring on the craziness, dude. I'll play whatever they got. I'll like it or I won't, and that's okay. Like there'll always be something new down the road to play after it,
Oh, fair enough, man.
I guess that's a really good mindset to have in general.
Yeah. I mean, everybody gets pissed at certain things, characters, exactly. Like I hated Lucky Chloe just because I hated her design. Like it was just a joke character. Bob was a joke, fat guy, funny. You could tell there was joke characters that were meant to just be a big joke, and they don't hit sometimes, as for me anyway. So I just take it in stride. Like you'll like it or you won't. It ain't the end of the world. There'll always be something new later on.
No, yeah, that's true, and I admire your standpoint, your stance on it, because if I had the mind state of you, I wouldn't like. I'm surprised I didn't have a mini heart attack during my most competitive days of Tekken, and we're talking probably Tekken 3 and Tekken Tag 1. Like this was do or die for us. Like there was real like beefs like on Tekken.
Oh yeah.
But it was just because nobody, like all the top players, did not want to lose to each other. Like it was personal. You know what I mean? Even
I was in the arcades as a kid, so it was cutthroat in there,
Yeah, you know what I mean? So when you, and I think what you said about the characters is very interesting as well, because I actually think with the legacy characters, when you have all these new characters coming in, as you said, Lucky Chloe, all these people, Lars, Lily, whoever, then you start to think, well, where do the legacy characters that still function the way the early Tekkens do? Because when you strip away all the fluff, all the Skittles and lightning and all lightning, thunder, and acid, right? They still function the same way as they've always done since Tekken 1. At the end of the day, Law still functions, and I'm a Law main. Like Law is who I play. He still plays the same, more or less, as he does in Tekken 1. If you take away DSS, he's Tekken 2. He's Tekken 3 at the most.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So where do these guys belong? Because when you have all these characters that can do things and basically play the game for you, you have Victor, you have Zafina, all these characters that are, bizarre characters, Kunimitsu from Tekken 7.
We all saw Thready though, with the 3 3 3 3 3 3 3 3
3 4 3 4 3 4.
He just the dude made a script that had just pressed 3 the whole time, and he got
brilliant.
He got the yellow ranks or something. Just pressing 3.
You know what I mean? So then you start to feel, well, you've almost grown with these characters. I've grown with Kazuya. I've grown with Paul. I've been on this journey of who's the best Tekken character. Like, who is the best player? Who's the best Tekken character? And then it's almost like it's been lost in translation now, or lost in transcending now, because like you said, Tekken is going another way. And as exciting as it is, and as curious as I am to see what's coming next, I just kind of fear that, well, the identity, like I said, because Tekken, believe it or not, it has an identity. It has a certain type. I'm not saying that it has to appeal to everyone. I'm not saying that everybody from my era or even before me sees it as the same, but we can all agree that Tekken has an identity. When you think of Tekken, you don't think of Lucky Clone. Maybe if you just started playing in Tekken 7 and you like K-pop characters, cool. But for me, when I think of Tekken, the first character that I think of is Kazuya. You know, gi, karate, 1-1-2, forward 4, down forward 4-4, all of that shit. And
the spiky hair, man. Like.
And the spiky hair. When you think of law, 4-3-4, 1-1-1-1-1-1 knockdown. You know what I mean? You know,
just jabs for days.
Yeah, you know where you could just duck and just stare at him. You know, but like, you know, I hope that they don't lose that, because then I think just think Tekken is the essence of Tekken, because Tekken has an essence, like Street Fighter has an essence, you know. And I think if you completely eradicate that in the name of moving the game forward or being with the times, quote unquote, I think it just loses its what makes it special in the realms of fighting games.
But I don't think we need to be scared about that. I think Tekken is one of the, if not the biggest legacy game still out there. So,
I like Tekken 8. Though honestly, people don't talk enough of the scummiest move that made me really question Bamco was the not putting the store in there from the get-go. Like that was the biggest what the fuck is that shit?
Yeah,
like that. I have sworn off the store. I don't even go in there. I send a message to Namco straight up. That was bullshit move. I'm not participating in a store that you smuggled in there. You know, like not cool, dude.
Guys, we're gonna move the conversation to the patch notes because I'm very curious to see what's up there.
Yes,
let's fucking go.
I'm gonna bring them up on the screen now. Medusa's just sent them over to me.
I've been searching Clive on PlayStation Store to see if the download's there.
Yeah, Clive is already in the menu, but he's not logged and there's maintenance, so probably not be able to play it this night.
Okay, let's see. Is there a translate button? There should be, right? Oh, English version. Cool.
Yeah, we're back to the patch notes shit.
Patch notes.
Well, thanks for having me on, Mike.
Yeah, no problem, bro. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, thanks for listening to an old guy.
Hey, listen, bro. You're 42. I'm 44, bro.
Well, yeah, I'm right there with you, brother.
All right, let's see. Where's it get good from? We got Tekken Shop. So they've added Tekken Fight Pass round 4. I don't think anyone cares about this. Are we trying to get to the character changes or like?
Yeah, I don't care about the shit.
Yeah, this is whatever avatar
ranked match. Wait, disconnecting during a match now result in point reduction. Okay,
yeah, this is good.
That's good. It's not exactly what I wanted, but it's good enough. I'm not gonna complain. Like they give the pluggers what they deserve. But how much are they deducting though? That's the question. Because if they're deducting 10 points, then they're not going to care.
Minus 1,000.
Is it like if you would have lost the match, or is it less than that?
You should get hit much harder than just losing the match. Honestly.
Yeah.
1,000 minimum.
I don't. Man, I played ranked a little bit when it first dropped.
The amount you could win.
I got tired of ranked pretty fast. I got like over 4,500 player matches already.
Is that all about the characters? I couldn't find more. I was quite surprised.
Yeah, you got character changes here, rage art changes. Medusa, have you got on your screen as well?
Yeah, I'm showing it. I'm showing it from your screen.
Yeah, it looked like Fang. They just let you hold forward, and he gets that extra shoulder or something. Is that what they did to his heat smash?
More TR.
Let's have a look. So Brian.
Oh, that is bad. Snake Eyes got a buff.
Ooh.
Oh.
It's that jarring string they do at the end, and it has now better tracking.
Yeah, that's
the tech knee.
Nah, it's that full string with that fire string.
Oh, yeah, the incinerator.
Incinerator, yeah.
Ah, Jesus.
Eddie, the hitbox has been expanded upwards, alleviating instances where the attack would miss in certain situations. Those are just behavioral fixes. Are there any
Not changed
actual?
much. No.
CD1 is for Heihachi. CD1 got buffed. Better tracking.
Fantastic.
Homan buff.
No, improved only when the opponent is in a down state to mitigate instances where the follow-up. They made the follow-up easier.
Easier. That's great. Right, these aren't the only character changes, are there?
I have not seen more.
Nah, Jin also should have been changed. There's Bear.
These are
just the bug fixes. There's more though.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, I can't see it.
Oh, there, it's gone back to Japanese.
Or is that it?
That's it.
Yeah, I haven't seen more. Yeah, I was surprised.
Are you sure, chat, that this is it? I'm asking my own chat right now. Is that it, chat?
That looks. I mean, that's all that's on this page.
Okay, that's not that much, man.
I mean, I guess all the stuff with the new moves and all that, they announced it for season 2, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be season 2 changes.
Yeah.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, they're punishing rage quitters, so that's a W for me because I can't stand the rage quitting situation.
Yeah, that's important. That's true. When is Clive coming out? In like basically 1 hour.
About an hour's time. Oh, that's it. So let me explain it to everybody that's here now. Tomorrow I'm hosting. It's not a tournament, but you have a chance to win £100. So basically, the way you would win is everyone that picks Clive, whoever gets the most wins by the end of the stream. The stream's going to run for about 6 hours. Okay, whoever's got the most wins with Clive by the end of the stream will win. But if you don't have access to Clive, then the person that has got the most wins against Clive players, I'll give them a runners-up prize as well. So there's
when
a
will
chance.
It start?
Well, it depends because I'm hoping that Clive comes out in an hour's time. He should be out by the time I wake up in the morning because it's 11 o'clock in the evening now here in the UK.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be out in like 2 or 3 hours.
I'd
they
say
need maintenance. The maintenance is
Some
the issue
people
here.
are already playing him in Saudi Arabia. He's already released. I'm getting some messages.
Yeah, it looked like in the Far East he's
Yeah.
already out.
So what I'm gonna do, right? Because Clive is a new character, so people could just pick their mains and win easily. What I'm gonna do is, if you don't have Clive, I'll give you a chance to win the £100 as well. But I'm gonna put all the characters on a spin the wheel, so you're essentially gonna be a Mokujin. And if you can beat the other Clive players and accumulate the most wins, you'll win the £100. It's basically gonna be winner stays on. I'll keep your wins in a spreadsheet, and whoever has the most wins at the end of the stream will win the £100.
That's a great idea, dude. I probably can only watch because I have to work, but yes, I'm gonna watch that. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll start at 7:30 UK time in the evening, and we'll run it for 6 hours. And by the 6 hour mark, I'll basically announce who's got the most wins, and then I'm gonna have to make a special ruling for Blackheart because this guy's got God of Destruction of every character, and it's not gonna be fair on everyone else. So I'm gonna have to figure something out for him. But that will be the whole format of it, and then I'll PayPal the £100 to the winner.
I'm just gonna watch while I'm home while I work.
Blackheart's got to know round brown people to get points.
All the moves are on YouTube
Brown,
now.
man.
People uploaded it already.
Yeah,
real, bro. No.
That's what we'll do. But Medusa, I don't know if there was anything else you wanted to cover.
All the moves of Clive are on YouTube now. Like basically, when they go in P mode and show move after move.
Yeah, okay. Let me bring it up and take a look.
Yeah,
at
practice demo.
Yeah, let me.
I
take a
mean,
look
he
at
was
that.
such a big topic in the podcast so far. Makes sense to watch it.
Live moveset, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I think IMO. No, that's.
If someone has the link in the chat, you can give me. Then I give it to Mike.
Yeah, I hasn't come up on my screen.
Because I can also see other streamers reacting to it right now.
No,
We got maintenance here in Europe. We cannot access Clive. I see practice mode. Hey, that was the same issue with Heihachi. So,
The Americans can play already, apparently.
yeah, Clive is still locked here in Germany. So even though I have the season pass, I cannot play Clive because they're still doing maintenance. And after the maintenance, the server tells my game basically, yeah, you can now play. Yeah, it was the same with Heihachi, sadly. So yeah, when I wake
I
up
don't know. It's not
tomorrow.
come up on YouTube. I've typed in Clive moveset.
Okay, let me see if I can find it on my own. I'm just seeing people reacting to it. Maybe they have some secret sources.
Or I don't know, console version maybe. I don't know, man. But I have it right here on screen right now. It's not working.
Well, while they find that, so yeah, hopefully loads of people come. But I'll read the super chats out whilst Medusa's looking for it. I'm at work right now, so I'll catch stream later. But yeah, have you tried Helldivers new update? I have tried Helldivers new update. It's fantastic. Helldivers is my game of the year for anyone that keeps asking. I absolutely love that game.
What is Helldivers?
It's a good fun co-op game, actually.
It's just shooting game. You go to alien planets and you basically spread democracy. So.
Yeah,
I found
basically Starship Troopers. Yeah.
Yes. It actually has the same humor. If you like that, you probably like it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Did you find it, Medusa?
Let me send you the link. This is a full fight.
Okay.
So.
Tekken 1 through 5 was a bit more grounded outside of certain outliers. Engaged characters like Kuma and other animals, but Tekken 6 was the start of the descent into anime nonsense. Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
Capoeira,
Definitely.
Taekwondo, boxing, different forms of karate, Muay Thai, CQC, wrestling. You sent it, yeah?
Yep.
All right, I'll come back to these chats. Let's get this Clive gameplay up.
Yeah, I don't even watch anime, dude.
Match, but we can still see the moves. It's not. We're not gonna see like the cooldowns versus Nino, obviously.
Can we see it here on this conversation? Because I'm curious.
Yeah, I'm bringing it up now, but I think this was from the Tekken
nice.
talk.
Are you sure? This is versus King, though.
Yeah, King.
Yeah, they did a King. Set,
Okay, then I
Yeah.
fucked up. Never mind. Then.
I was looking for streamers that were reacting to it, but I couldn't see.
Yeah, I can't find it either. I just saw the other Twitch streamers reacting.
I think that's when they showed special style for Clive.
Yeah.
By the way, I think it's as well. At least I can play Tekken now with the husband of my mother. It's not as competitive as or viable as in Street Fighter, but I think special style is also it's good to have for the uber casuals to just try it out.
And thing that comes out of him, that raccoon looking thing that runs out of Clive.
The wolf.
Yeah, that. Oh, it's a wolf. Oh,
yeah, it's a wolf.
It also has a grab. Yeah, it's the wolf grabs.
He's got like a Ren for your form whenever you're in heat. He's all like heated out too.
By the way, I just want to say that I think the stage is one of the best looking in the game, probably. At least
crazy.
In the video.
Cannibal looking stage, isn't it?
I will see how it looks in just visually. It looks brilliant. I'm just worried a little bit how the lag's gonna turn out when you're playing online with people that don't have strong PCs. I don't know. We will see that.
Boys, I cut in real quick. I wanted to say thank you so much for having me on. Thank you so much, Mike. Was really a pleasure. Hit me up if you want to do one more of these. I really like podcasts.
Yeah, definitely, man.
I like this. This is very cool. Yeah.
And yeah, keep up the good work, man. You're doing an amazing job.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. You too, man.
Yo, see you, man, bro. Bye.
See you in a bit. Well, I think with that, like, we're pretty much gonna round off the stream anyway. We've covered everything that we want to. So I want to say thanks to everyone that joined the stream. Thanks to all the guests, and thank you for the super chats again. They do go a long way. I'm gonna do another one of these after Clive has come out after a week, so that we can get everyone's impressions on Clive and like how they feel about him. So I'll advertise that and then let everyone know. But yeah, cheers, guys. Thank you for joining. I really appreciate it, and I'll catch you all very soon.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, thanks for doing these talks. Honestly, well, good fun. See ya.
Yeah, very much so.
See you guys soon.